got that taste you can't deny. Popping flavors, light and bold. Every seed's a story told. Sunny Munch, snack it up. Crunching all day, never get enough. Savory, salty, sweet delight. One more handful feels so right. Pocket size, keep them close, anytime snack. Road trip, game night, never looking back. Natural goodness, every seed. Sunny Munch is all you need. Sunny Munch, snack it up. Crunching all day, never get enough. Savory, salty, sweet delight. One more handful feels so right. Munch it, love it, pass it round. Sunny Munch, the best in town. So right, take a bite, feel the vibe. Sunny Munch, got that taste you can't deny. Popping flavors, light and bold. Every seed's a story told. Sunny Munch, snack it up. Crunching all day, never get enough. Savory, salty, sweet delight. Take a bite, feel the vibe. Sunny Munch, got that taste you can't deny. Popping flavors, light and bold. Every seed's a story told. Sunny Munch, snack it up. Crunching all day, never get enough. Savory, salty, sweet delight. One more handful feels so right. Pocket size, keep them close, anytime snack. Road trip, game night, never looking back. Natural goodness, every seed. Sunny Munch is all you need. Sunny Munch, snack it up. Crunching all day, never get enough. Savory, salty, sweet delight. One more handful feels so right. Munch it, love it, pass it round. Sunny Munch, the best in town. So right, take a bite, feel the vibe. Sunny Munch, got that taste you can't deny. Popping flavors, light and bold. Every seed's a story told. Sunny Munch, snack it up. Crunching all day, never get enough. Savory, salty, sweet delight.
Oh. All right, hey everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I know it's been a I know, can talk loud so they can hear you. Good. Let me go over here in my comments. Let me see what I got over here. All right. Oh, let me put him up there too. Hey, Seth, how are you? Hello?
Yeah, I'm good. What's going on? How are you?
Okay, you need to talk up. I can barely hear you.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay. Look.
That's good to hear. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
No, I can barely hear you. You got to get closer to the mic or something.
No.
Talk up.
Hold on. I'm going to find me another way to call in.
Okay. All right. So, good evening, you guys. I hope you guys have had a great vacation away from Can We Be Friends show. Because every time Can We Be Friends show come on, it's always something, right? Mr. T came in, and Mr. T acted fool the other night. That was last night, right? Was it last night? I can't remember.
No,
that was Saturday night. So, hello, Miss Linda. Hello, Miss Linda. So, we're going to come in here, and as you see, if you pay attention to the title of the show is the Can We Be Friends show, the 30th workings of the mayor of Alexandria. Remember, he said he wasn't being nefarious. But we're going to go over, we love breaking down stuff. So I'm excited to break down his video from today. I know they had a mayor's briefing today, and I think he was kind of prepping for the Tuesday meeting tomorrow. You guys please show up at the committee meetings tomorrow. I think they start at 4. Don't quote me on that. We have to check and see. But if they start at 4 o'clock, the legal team, the legal committee, will be meeting, and they have some questions for the mayor about his trip down to Baton Rouge. Now, we know they had a big conference. I think all the mayors of municipalities got together, so they were down in Baton Rouge. And he had on a nice little suit, and he fast-tracked some stuff. Tavares was talking about some of the bills. It's like 5 bills, and out of all 5 bills, the only one that got fast-tracked was the one about utilities. We thought that was kind of strange. But see, and this is why it's so important for you guys to pay attention to what's going on. We don't do this to make anybody upset or mad or bent out of shape. We do this because knowledge is power. And when you know, nobody can argue with you about that. And if I am taking the information that you gave and I'm repeating it and I'm sharing with others, you can't call it a lie. You can't say outsiders have anything to do with it. Our opinion is our opinion, but facts are facts, especially when we're watching what you said. When we break down everything that you said, not what we said, but what you said. We have a right to do that, right? So if we have an opinion about something, that is our opinion. But when we show you facts on top of the opinion, then there's no argument. There's no need to get mad. There's no need to backtrack. And there's no need to blame everybody else for the things that you have done. We have to be accountable for ourselves, regardless of what it is. Everybody is not perfect. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has done some things that they don't want to talk about or bring to the forefront. This is a little different. That's on a personal level. That's us as personal people. But when you are a public servant, you are held to a different standard. And when you lie to the people who you're supposed to be serving, then that's a problem. That's a major problem. And so we have to figure out, how do we just say, you know what, I made a mistake. I made a mistake with the restore. I made a mistake with everything. But I know in this video, and it's going to come up, where he made the comment that they only was able to serve 600 and something people, but that's because the other people listened to outsiders. What that has to do with us? That has nothing to do with us. Nothing.
That's right.
You blaming us for something that you nefariously put together. You even admitted it on film, on camera, on video, that you had already put Restore together a year before you came in. So did you already know you were coming back? You made that comment. And when we watch the video, we will see on the video where he made that comment. A year prior to him coming back as mayor. So did you already know you were coming back, or did you ever leave? Because what was the purpose? If you were no longer the mayor, what were you doing creating programs to quote unquote help the citizens? What were you doing? Because if it was me and I wasn't in office, you can guarantee you I'm not working on nothing in the office, because I'm no longer in that position. There's no need for me to be working on that. So why were you working on it if you already knew, if you didn't know you were going to get back in that position? So that goes back to, this is why I say I do not believe a lot of times when these voting records, these voting come out. I don't care how they pretend like they're so honest. There's no way they're always totally, those numbers are right. I believe those numbers are messed with on purpose because we know for sure Louisiana is well known for their shenanigans when it comes to corruption. Very much well. Okay? So, me and T gonna come in here and try to decipher the nefariousness of this video before we get started. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who come and hang out with us here on the Kevin Frank Show. I hope you guys are listening, and I hope you're paying attention, even the ones who don't show up in the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. I care more about the information that's being sent out. I care more about Universal Collective Network being able to be available for you guys to go back and watch. So what you see us talk about, we ain't hiding it. We're not afraid to talk about it. We'll say what we have to say. If you feel offended, that's not our problem. That's your problem. You have to deal with that on your own. If you have any type of insecurity that you're dealing with, that's your problem, not ours. We're just going to tell you and break down what we see. Your opinion and how you see it is your business. Has nothing to do with us. Nothing at all to do with us. You do you. But we're going to continue trying to show the people how, quote unquote, nefarious you are. Because I thought that was a bold statement to make. That you worked on the restore a year before you came in office. Why weren't you hanging out with your wife and the kids and enjoying yourself? Did you already know you were going to get back in that seat? Just like we said in the get-go. Once we realized that Jeff Paul was bullshitting us, turned around, he was just a placeholder. Because we know for sure that you were behind the scenes. And the reason why we know for sure you were behind the scenes on a lot of shit that was going on in those 4 years, because Jeff Hall left those people right in place. He did not change out his administration. He had the same administration you did. So we knew you had access to everything. You're the mayor. You're the former mayor. What were you doing having access to utilities and being able to create a program? Who allowed you to do that if you were no longer the mayor? But you said it today in your briefing that you worked on the restore a year before you came in. What was you doing working on the restore?
So when he came in, it was already ready.
It was already ready. Exactly. So something's wrong with that picture, and you told on yourself today. So this is what we like to get the public to see. This is what the constituents need to see. How were you working on something when you were not even the mayor? How did you still have access to everything? The utilities, all of that. How were you able to still have access to all of that information for you to create a doggone program to quote unquote help people who couldn't pay their bills? If you weren't involved in something.
That's right, you wasn't the mayor.
And you weren't the mayor. Y'all wake up. You can't make this up. Has nothing to do with us being outsiders. It's us paying attention. It came out of your mouth, not our mouth, your mouth. That you knew some stuff that you weren't supposed to as the mayor. I don't care. Once you do a job, you don't have to be continually being involved in unless you had a reason to be involved in. Now, why would you have time to sit up and create a program for utilities when you were not even the mayor? You haven't even got in the doggone what's the name. He can't help himself. The narcissism in him keeps him in the sociopath mindset, keeps him running his mouth and telling on himself. How many times we've caught him in saying shit that he said that he probably didn't want nobody to know? Many, many times. He won't stop talking because he got to prove that he's right. No, sir. You told on yourself. If you hand those keys over to a new mayor, which was Jeff Hall, what was you doing having anything to do with any programs, anything to do with the doggone city of Alexandria? Because you never left. And we said that. We saw the way that Jeff Hall was moving during those 4 years. And we said it. I know it came out of my mouth many times where I said the mayor is behind this. He has never left. He has never left. I said it over and over again because we know his pattern. And the things that he was doing, Jeff was doing, was not Jeff. It was Jock all the time. So you just confirmed, whether you know it or not, you just confirmed that you were in the shadows all that for those whole 4 years. That's what you confirmed. You didn't just come up with resource. You was trying to figure out a way to get that money back. And then
he found a way to
get that money back and that so-called breach. And the idea that you even said that you were present, because come on now. This is why we were trying to tell the citizens of Alexandria to do, if it's not a class action suit against this whole utility thing, at least something else, something close to it. Or you guys can individually, who was individually affected by it, find a lawyer and sue them for what they did, because that was bullshit. And then he turns around, and we're going to get into the video. He turns around and said, and I said it earlier, only a certain amount of people were able, they were only to help if we wasn't able to use all the money. But see, y'all don't forget this. Don't forget that they closed it down a day. Remember that? Then they told them to do it online, and then it got backed up online. Y'all, and we told y'all that shit was orchestrated. He was not going to do those whole 5 days. We told y'all that prior to him even coming out with that, when they said it. We told them something is going to happen where they're not even going to use all 5 days that they gave everybody and gave them a deadline. They had a day they was not open. Okay.
On top of that, they had a money amount on that.
Yeah.
And they only had 600 customers.
Yes.
Got the money.
Yeah. Got help.
And a lot of them didn't even sign their name.
Exactly. And a lot of people, he's saying they only helped 635 people, right? And it was supposed to be $1,000 per family or up to $1,000 per family. But you turned around and start charging people who didn't even sign up for it. You put it on their bill, and then you lied and said that it was a grant. You changed it.
You didn't pay back a grant.
Yeah, I thought so too. So the thing is, this is what gets me. This is why we tell you guys, pay attention to what he said. Always pay attention to what he said. We're not lying. Y'all know he said that. No, you didn't help enough people because you weren't intended to help everybody. You were supposed to spend $3 million. You already knew you weren't going to do that. You knew that because you sat there and planned it. You admitted that today, that you planned a year ahead. You already knew what you were planning on doing. You were bullshitting the people, bluffing them like lawyers do. You bluffed and bullshitted them people thinking that you were helping them. And then you turned around and charged back to them. Yeah. And you said it was a grant. Then you lied and said that that's not what you said, but yes, you did. You did say it was a grant. It's in the paperwork. It's in the paperwork.
He said that.
Yeah, he said it. So my thing is, when you tell one lie, you got to keep on telling the lie to get it where you need so everybody can believe you. Jock, stop it. Just if you could be honest with yourself. First of all, you don't have to be honest with us because we already know who you are and what you do. Be honest with yourself and quit blaming everybody else for the shit you do. That's all we asking.
And then he gonna turn around and say he had $20 million when he left out, and when he came back, it wasn't nothing there.
No, from what Mr. Porter said, when he left office, they had close to 37 million surplus left. By the time Jock got in there, that money was gone. Now, I don't know what happened. I'm not blaming nobody, but I do remember Mr. Porter saying that. So I don't know what he did with the money, okay? But I know one thing, he needs to quit blaming everybody and take full responsibility of him being the mayor. Because you know what? People watch you and they lose respect for you when they see that you have a problem with accountability. I'm serious. And I'm not, listen to me. I'm not taking myself out of this equation, okay? People look at you when you do not put yourself in a position where you can say, wait a minute, hold up. Even on here, when we talking and I'll say something and I could be wrong about it, I'll say, yeah, you're right. I have to say that because then that's me holding myself accountable for something I said that was not true or I thought was true. I can't say, you said that and it wasn't. Oh, I don't think that's somebody else's fault. No, I have to say, Felita, yeah, you said that, and that was not correct. Because me and Tavares, y'all know me and Tavares go back and forth on here all the time. You know, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. What is the problem with us being wrong about shit when we're doing shit that's not right? What's wrong with saying, okay, you know what? That I misquoted that, or, I should have said it different. Let me look it up, and this is the answer. We got to be able to do that with ourselves. And if we can't do that, don't go blaming Huckleberry and Junebug for something you did. You can't do that. That's not, that goes back to your credibility of whether or not you're truthful. But we know the history behind this mayor. And again, like I said, with him working on something that he shouldn't have been touching as the mayor, he was not the mayor then. Jeff Hall was the mayor. What were you doing with access to everything? Who does that? Because you never left. Like I said from the get-go, you never left. You were there.
All he did was bring the stuff to his house.
That's right. He didn't even have to do that. He was probably up in that office on many days. We just didn't know it because, hey, we at home. He probably never left that office. He probably had all his shit still up in there because he knew he was coming back. And that's that's how you know you got to look at the integrity of voting, okay? We can vote our asses off. The integrity of voting is JACQUES got back in that seat again. What were you doing working on Restore a whole year before you knew you had to know you were coming back? You had to know. For you to do that.
And you knew what you was doing.
Yeah. He had all access to everything.
Money back some kind of way.
You know he had access to everybody's information. He knew that.
No, he knew it.
So y'all pay attention. That's all we're trying to do. Get you to pay attention. That's all. Mr. T, you have anything you want to say to that before I get the video started? Excuse me. Mr. T. I don't know. He's on the screen, but excuse me. Ooh.
He's choking.
No, that's me choking.
Oh.
That's me choking. I'm trying to get him to say something.
Excuse me.
Look, I'm choking all over.
Sound like Maxwell.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and we're going to get through this. Y'all, I'm going to take my time. This video is long. I don't know why he wasted time doing this, but it shouldn't have took this long. But let's go ahead and get into this.
Time doing a full count this time because we had armbands. We were able to do some more things. Obviously, there are folks that might be, you think you capture every vendor and everything else. We don't always. We used to have to do our hard counts by doing groupings from drones and other things years ago. So the armbands help us. We think that looking preliminarily now that somewhere between 10 to 13,000. The first count was 19,000. We think that's high. So somewhere between 10 and 13,000 people, different folks were here. And I think that's really a testament to a heck of a good fit. Thursday night was the weather held, and it was one of the larger, probably 750, 1,000 people maybe. That's a big dinner on the bricks for the first night for Thursday. That's going to be in the top 3 or 4.
Now, let me ask y'all, do y'all really believe them numbers?
No.
I don't believe them numbers. I told you I don't believe them numbers. Do y'all believe them numbers? Because I don't believe
It
them.
was pouring down Thursday.
He said between 750 to 1,000 people showed up.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that don't sound right.
Can I say something, ma'am? Am I allowed to say something?
You may.
This man's out of his rabbit ass mind. Okay, so first off, what the fuck? I'm sorry, but what is he saying?
He started off talking about the fest, whatever fest that happened lately.
All right.
You know,
And
you know,
they get everybody else to pay for the fit. They don't pay for the fit.
Exactly.
that's what you call a nothing burger.
Yeah.
It's like what you do is you get a hamburger bun out and you cut it in half and then you add nothing and you eat it. It's a nothing burger.
Somebody said he must be Gregory said he must be counting city employees in all departments. Because I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Talking about all together was about 10,000. Ain't no, I don't believe that number.
Bro, I don't believe that. I would rather see a drone air shot. But for some reason you don't have those yet.
No. He said he did. He used to do it with the drone. So who was counting? That's what I want to know. I want to know who was counting if he didn't use the drone.
Did he say he had straps around arms?
Yeah, he said, he counted by the wristbands. That's what he said. Okay. All right. I still don't believe it. I'm sorry.
Oh, so now we paying for wristbands?
Yeah, well, not paying for them. He said they gave him wristbands, I guess.
So you could say you gave away whatever number you want.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. You're right. You sure can. Okay, let's go.
In the history of that, Saturday night was big. So it's hard for me to tell because we couldn't get as good of hard counts years ago as we do now. But just knowing the FETs that we did when we first started FET years ago and thinking through what we saw then, how it was structured, and now I would say that certainly this Saturday.
What?
You see that? You see all that nothing that he's giving you?
Yeah, that's nothing information. Exactly.
It's
Saturday was probably in the top 3. It could be 1. It could be 2. I don't think it's first, but I think it's going to be in the top 3. Thursday night was a rainy night. That still was Friday night. Thursday night was Dinner on the Bricks. I think a record holder. Saturday, again, record. Friday night, we had rain. Confunction played. It had been a good night on a normal FET. If there had not been rain, this would have wiped out all the records for FET. So again, congratulations.
So this is my deal. Okay. So before you plan a FET, shouldn't you check the weather? Because weather here is predictable. It's not like it's, oh my God, out the blue, it's going to start raining. You already knew.
That's God's way of punishing them for trying to keep the people from voting.
Yeah. So you have a FET when it's going to rain. It just, I would set my FET up on 3-4 days or whatever, pure sunshine. I don't care when it is. We're going to set the FET up like this. These days right here, we know for sure it's not going to rain. It's going to be beautiful these days. That's when we're going to do the FET. So why would you have a FET now? It's mighty funny. The night that Confunction was playing or performing, it rained. Just keep that in mind. I'm just saying.
And what that Thursday night?
No, that was Friday night. I think that was Friday night, you said.
Oh, okay.
Thursday night was Dinner on the Bricks.
So if we're going by numbers and you exclude the rain that we had on Friday, this would have been probably the biggest one. in the history of the FET series. So that is incredible. It's a testament to the hard work of you, all your partners of the APD, the fire service, and everybody else who made it happen. The sheriff's office partnered with us, state police partners partnered with us. I think probation and parole even had some folks that were helping us. No serious incidents whatsoever. Another great hallmark of the FET series. I think there were 3 medical call outs, none of which were too serious, I think, Sam reported today. I think there was one incident at the very end with some kids was taken care of. It wasn't that big a deal, and maybe.
Yeah. I can't hear you. You went out.
It must be them boys.
I was gonna. This is a diet nothing burger light. There's
it's an air burger. It's an air burger.
Yeah.
It's an air burger. That's what it is. You're right, Mommy. It's an air burger.
It's an air burger. He wants to always sound like these sets. And see, you got to remember now, in order for people to like them and keep saying, bring them back, you have to fluff it up. You have to fluff it. You got to put some fluff in there. Even though it's an air burger, you got to at least let them visualize that it was something great that happened. In the history of the fest, he tries to make it sound like this is, you're doing it off the backs of the damn citizens. So you're saying they can enjoy those 3 days of paying your utilities for everybody that was out there. It's good for them to get out and sing and hoop and holler and have a good time on their back. That's what you're saying. But you get mad when they don't pay their utility bill on time, because then you can't, all these other people can't pay their, they can't benefit off the idea that you have these sets and the people have to pay for it.
That's right.
This is crazy. This is so crazy. No city that does tourism is set up this way. No city is. I don't care how many sets you do. You do not get in there without paying. I know right now, Festival International was last weekend. I know damn well I can't go in there without paying. I think it's $10 to get in there. And they make a killing every year, whether it rains, sleet, or snow. They make a killing because they charge the people to come in there. They don't just walk up in there. They charge them so that money can go back and set aside for the next festival they have. Whatever they're doing, whatever Lafayette is doing, they have the recreation budget set aside. Most cities in Louisiana that does tourism, who does festivals and stuff. I bet you in New Orleans, you ain't gonna walk up in New Orleans and talk about you gonna just do whatever you want. You're gonna pay for something in that group. So this is why I'm saying it's just amazing that the people won't, you know what? I'm not fussing. I'm making a point. Y'all won't take him to the damn net about you not charging for these sets. Y'all will not take him to the net. But y'all out there boot scooting. And I don't get it. There's no way, and please, do not get the impression I have. I just don't like when somebody is bullshitting me. That bothers me.
Yeah, it bothers me too.
You know?
Especially when you know they're lying.
Yeah, you're lying. You're lying about the numbers. It's just so funny that when Confunction was playing, y'all, it rained. You didn't know it was going to rain on the day that you wanted for Confunction to come in there?
Yeah, they said it would have supposed to rain 50%.
So why would you plan a doggone fest when you know it was going to be raining? Because you could have set it back a whole nother week. You didn't have to do it exactly when then. And if they weren't available, then get another black group that would have been available. So that's what I'm saying. When Bon Jennings was doing this, they wanted her hands off of it because she set it up where it could work. He came in, he couldn't wait to Jeff Hall. He probably was behind Jeff Hall getting rid of Bon. Now think about the ideal. Now that he said what he said about him working on the resort a year prior, that makes me think that he told Jeff to let Von Jennings go. I'm just saying, I could be wrong. It's my opinion. I'm not. I don't.
Think
Yeah,
wasn't nothing wrong
because
they wanted to get rid of her.
Yep, she changed the name of everything. She was changing the names and she was bringing in the people. He had an issue with that. Like I said, he never left that office. That doggone JACQUES was there from the time Jeff Hall got elected into that position until Jeff left. He was there.
I don't know if there was an arrest on the FET proper, maybe that at the end of Saturday night one. So, and that was at the very end. So that's all stats that you probably don't need. It's a total positive event. People who were there will see that. And the community was all out in force.
You know why he's saying that?
You know,
right? You know why he's saying that? Because not only that, he's saying that because we always say they're a waste of money. That's why. That's why. He's trying to say that to.
I think it's important.
All this shit and all this
is so big of a deal.
It's
when
so
it's
good.
not.
Well, why in the world does he have them and he ain't paying either?
I mean, he don't have to. He's the mayor. He's not supposed to pay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm just saying people come in there and get free utilities, free everything, and the people pay for it. So there ain't no way I would be out there boot suit. I'll be out there with a hat in my hand. Since y'all out here, y'all want to pay my utility bill? That's what I would be out there. I'll be panhandling my tail off through the group.
To note, I know that somehow the word diverse and DEI and in this universe of words we get into, there are people now getting on both sides of what I think is a word that is not only appreciated by me, but should be by anyone who understands language and the meaning of words, that things matter. But if you want to look at the diversity of the event, which we are charged to do, not only by the charter, it actually has a provision in it that our social services and all of those things be diverse, but just common sense. You want all of your taxpayers represented and participating as diverse an event as you could ever be at. Anybody who was there will tell you that, but you don't have to take anyone's word for it.
Why is that important? Why is that important?
So they can halfway tell the truth.
Why is diversity so important in these sets?
Because they listen.
Because you're in a majority black city. And the holler that only black people showed up or only white people showed up would be an issue. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, big issue too.
Yeah.
Or wait till all the drone footage comes out and you can look for yourself and see. You can also look at the vendors. So let's get into the economic side. Again, easy to see. You can, if you were there, you know that. Thursday night, if you were there on Dinner of the Bricks, you know that our commitment to who the vendors were was out in force, and that opportunity is being given. So don't have to take my word for it. You can go look at the evidence and let your eyes and ears show you. The real reason I put this on here, other than to give Tanya and the event itself praise, was that the enhanced security chief was just incredible. I cannot tell you how many people came up to me and really felt good about it. And there were just lots of comments out there on social media and otherwise that, oh my God, I'm going back again. I didn't realize this, or they'd hear.
Okay, why are you trying to sell this whole gimmick to everybody? So that they can keep doing them. That's why. I pray to God the new administration will do away with these fests and if they're going to do a fest, make sure people pay to get in and out. That's point blank. And quit using the majority of the money. Yeah.
Go to a vendor and get what you want. You don't have to pay.
No. I'm pay them.
You got to pay.
No. Listen, what I'm saying is, when you go to any type of festival, you pay to get in. Those vendors are in the individual businesses, so you do have to pay them for their products. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. My issue is that those vendors are not paying for the utilities when they use those utilities. Okay?
Yeah.
They're not paying for that. So they come in free, everybody from all over the place, not just local, they come into a festival free. And then only person making the money is the doggone vendor. Nobody else is making the money. The city's not making no money.
Sure ain't.
So what happens is you guys wind up paying for the utilities that those vendors use. You see, you sitting at home chilling because you ain't going to that fest, but you still got to pay for the utilities.
That's right.
So that's not fair. So why not charge people to come into the doggone fest? That's all I'm saying.
Stupid. That's stupid.
Yeah.
You let everybody else in, and they had a wristband. Why you didn't let people in who didn't have a wristband?
Even with the wristband, they didn't pay. They didn't pay anything. The wristband is not saying that they paid any money to get in.
No, they showed out.
So the queuing on the red, we had to pay. I remember it was $10 too to get into the queuing on the red. That never. The idea that they made money off of that, which that was a whole, I don't know, a lot went on with that, and that real true story about the queuing on the red never came out, why he stopped it. So people were paying to get in there. So you know it was packed all the time with the queuing on the red. People were willing to pay that $10. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to do these sets, charge doing these sets. I can't go to the Strawberry Festival and just walk in there. I can't go to any festival and walk in there. If you got something going on, you're gonna have to pay for it. I'm not talking about the food in the products and stuff. I'm talking about entering into the program itself or entering into the festival itself. You got to pay for something. So I'm trying to figure out why are you taking, because the utilities is on the people, the backs of the people of Alexandria. So why not charge so that you can take some of that money from the festival and put it to the side and put it into the utilities? You know what I'm saying? If you want to do something, take some of the proceeds from the gate fees, because that's what they're called, gate fees, and put it into utilities. So the people don't feel like it's on them every time you have a fit. I'm sorry.
Hear it from a cousin or a friend or whatever, just how secure things were. So lots of new things to make that happen. But what people noted was not only was it secure, but it didn't feel like hard security. It felt integrated and soft in that sense, quote unquote, but it certainly wasn't, as we know, in terms of the amount of people. People felt good that every time they turned a corner, they'd see law enforcement out. People were aware.
Who's the people? Who's the people?
The white ones.
Oh, okay. All right.
That there were other technologies being deployed that did not bother people. They were actually very happy. Another way that I benchmark these things is through our partners in the music. And so, again, you will see total, what I would call just an extremely well done, diverse group of bands and music out there. And we were written by them, or at least the person putting it on, not me directly. Terrence Simeon, his comments about the community and other bands all said the same thing. Terrence Simeon is, of course, a double Grammy winner who's traveled the world. Is a pretty famous guy, and for him to say what he said was incredible. He took note. It was certainly not a cookie cutter set of comments that he sent in to our folks. And all of the groups felt that way. We talked to the folks from the band Uncle Lucius and others, and they just were really blown away by the community. So I'm very proud of the community on a personal level, because what they were seeing from the stage is our community, and they were seeing the best of it. And I thought it was a wonderful event. Anybody who was there experienced that. I appreciate the president, Cynthia.
Okay, hold up. So they saw the best of the community. What kind of comment is that to make?
The best of the community is on the other side of town.
No, I'm just, what kind of comment was that? I mean, Tavares, can you decipher that?
Black people did not vote.
Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha.
Black people did not act vote.
Okay. Tavares, you there? Hello? Tavares,
You must be asleep.
John, you sleep. You sleep? Indeed, don't.
Perry's comments to the media, to KLB and others, and I appreciate KLB's story on that. It was very positive for the community, and I thought highlighted something beautiful and something that shows people being together, happy, celebrating something wonderful. So Winterfest coming up, we'll be doing it again, different festival, but same kind of thing. I thought the Ferris wheel was a good new attraction, Tanya. Congrats on that. I did not see it move enough, I guess would be my only critic.
Okay. So he already said we're gonna do it again. We're gonna give y'all free utilities again. And we're gonna charge the people with it and when the Winterfest come up. Oh, and look how he's chuckling. He's happy that he's gonna charge the people again.
Criticism, I wondered what was going on, but I'm assuming that the way it has some kind of cycle and then people are getting on and off so often. I did not ride the Ferris wheel but perhaps I will next year.
I didn't.
Good. Okay, good. You had people riding. I didn't know if adults were getting on it. All right, so FET, great. Brownwater reporting. So I had a new person on staff tell me about their own experience this week. I will just again to tell people, we are flushing hydrants big time right now. So you're going to see some stir up for sure. I can't.
Okay, so let's get on the brown water real quick. So now all of a sudden, okay, we need to start flushing the hydrants, flushing them. Okay, how long have y'all been complaining about brown water? Somebody out there, tell me how long y'all have been crying about brown water.
6 years.
About 5 or 6 years. Yeah. That's what I thought. That is interesting. That is very interesting. And she said they always flush them. So obvious if they always flushing, then what's going on? Now, you're flushing now, but somebody must be on the staff. I wonder if he still has brown water as he claimed. Yeah, that's right. I'm wondering if he still has brown water too. I'm interested to hear that.
Where did he live?
He lives in District 4.
Oh, he don't have brown water?
Yeah. Since COVID. Yeah, he mentioned, y'all remember he said, I got brown water. I can drink it. It's good enough to drink.
Can't tell you exactly what neighborhood I tried in staff this morning, but I had other things going on. I didn't have time to try to get down some kind of, here's where you would see it. I don't know that I could, Marcus, do that. I guess we could try to make it more neighborhood specific. And as we get Alex Connects in some of these new ways where it's not only taking information, but giving information, this thing that we're working on, we'll be able to do that. So at least people have a heads up. I think people are less scared if they understand it's being stirred up by the hydrants being flushed. So we are again graded by the Louisiana.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Let's go back, y'all. Let's go back maybe about 3 to 4 months ago at the most. I'm gonna give that average. Didn't he say it was the fault of the people? Didn't he say that? Didn't he say he blamed the people for their water pipes? Come on now, somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he say that?
Do your own water pipes. And then Lynn got up there and said she had all her pipes redone and she still
got brown water. Sure did. Yeah. So, but he said he blamed it on individual people who own their houses. Didn't he say that? That's what he said?
Yes, ma'am.
Because y'all remember that it was the EPA letter that came out and told them that they needed to do that throughout the city, and if there's any infrastructure that need to be corrected, that they need to correct it. Am I right? Please tell me. Because when somebody made a comment about it, he got kind of frosty about it and said it's your pipe. It could be your pipe. Remember that?
And it's the pipes.
Okay.
It's their pipes.
Okay, so, but you're flushing now. You're flushing. Okay. All right. Okay. I got you. Okay. Amazing.
Louisiana Department of Health on the quality of our water. That is not something that we grade or can change or do something to make what it's not. They do their own thing. They're aggressive about it. I think our department, I think they are about ensuring it. We have not at all strayed from or tried to hide that people experience brown water. I've on numerous occasions indicated that I have. I understand that in the world of today that somehow that's a negative by some people. Well, if the mayor, because the mayor says it, what does that mean? Well, what it means is no one's denying it at the highest in the executive level anyway.
No, what it means is you never mentioned it until everybody was making a big deal about it. Because if you had brown water before, because people, like she said, we were complaining about brown water since COVID, right? So if they've been complaining about brown water since COVID, and all of a sudden now you got brown water, you never mentioned it before. You never mentioned it before.
Because you didn't have it.
Because you didn't have it, yeah.
Well, I don't think any council persons are denying. The question is whether brown water issues are aesthetic or unsafe. And we've unpacked that a little bit for you guys in past meetings. Anyone can go online. Here is the Department of Health's grade for this year. A. And it's a -0, so no points taken off in any category, including a +10 in the bonus out of a maximum of 10. So this is an objective study by the Louisiana Department of Health on the quality of water in the city of Alexandria, testing multiple areas frequently throughout a year.
I don't believe it.
You know, it's something you can go look at on your own and do. You can look at.
Thing you want on paper.
Yeah, you can't. You ain't never lied. The Department of Health and Human. Look, please, come on.
The whole report, you can see all the categories of what it does. But you cannot get an A and you cannot get 100 out of 100 if there's any issues where the water is unsafe. That's not gonna be.
Okay, now.
You're gonna get 100 out of 100 when you pass them checks on a landmark.
Yeah. Look, he said on various areas in Alexandria. Now, my thing is, the reason why I don't believe that, to be honest with you, if you took it from the right spot, hell yeah, it's going to come out A+. But overall, I don't believe it's overall. Because as long as you still have that creosote plant there, as long as you have anything that's chemical-wise that's running through these canals and that water, you cannot tell me that water is an A+ water.
That's a lie.
You cannot tell me that. As long as you got any type of chemical surrounding the neighborhood, there is no way that water is A+.
Be allowed by them.
And then it's on you get the glass of
As I announced in a few of these back, our view of the brown water issue is going to be an unrelenting approach to figuring out how we mitigate it. No one likes it. Not everyone sees these reports that I do. Very few people do. Not everybody will go see this. So some people will just hear about it and be concerned. Some people will see it obviously at home and be concerned. They won't know. We will do more, Marcus, to send things home, not only just the report card, but explanations. We have in the past explained aesthetic issues, meaning how something looks and feels versus it being dangerous. Those are all good, and those are all things to put in your quiver of arrows, and those are arrows you got to shoot to make sure the people in the public understand, but they're not enough. They're not enough. We've got to continue to find new ways to reach people at home. So with that, I'll take any public comments about that. I'll take any questions.
Now, let me say something before you do that. Now, I don't know if y'all know the city of Natchitoches found brown water too. They got money for infrastructure to fix that problem. So what's the deal with Jock if he wants that problem fixed? They got money to fix that problem. So why?
He got money too, unless he didn't spend it all.
But I don't know if they had to apply for the money or not. But they had money to fix their infrastructure problem when it came to brown water because the people were complaining about the brown water. Okay? And that's in the city of Natchitoches. Natchitoches is much smaller than Alexandria. So I'm just saying, they got the money. I don't know what they're doing different.
Did I get any? Okay. All right. No, it's just supposed to be in advance of the meeting so that we can prepare and look at it. But if you have one, we'll take it down today and I'll answer at the next meeting. Brown water is going to stay on these for the next several that I do. It'll be on there again.
I bet you know why? Because it's coming up for election. That's why. And you know that's a big thing. Utilities and well, utilities include brown the water. So yeah, of course, he knows that's a big thing.
If it's coming into the washing machine or bathtub, it's not so much consuming by drinking, but what is the concern with respect to hygiene, meaning washing your towels, your sheets, your clothes, and they.
Okay. If you're getting water that's infiltrating that, the first thing is you're going to need to contact a plumber and have it assessed how and what's happening. As we pointed out, brown water comes from both an individual customer side of the meter and potentially a city side of the meter. So that's got to be determined. I also announced that in an assistance plan to help people determine that we'll be launching some.
There we go again. Don't fall for it. Jock, you have the audacity. Look, you have the audacity to come up with another program now, not for the utilities, but now it's for the water. I don't know.
Things that we're working on. I announced them a few back to help citizens make that determination if they're challenged in the ability to do that. Not always easy to afford a plumber and get that done, and it will help us to chase that around. So the first thing I would do is talk to a plumber for sure. That would be the first thing to do right now. When we get our program going, we'll be able to add some help to that. I would also say for.
You say what?
Sounds good to me.
No, it sounds weak. He's saying for you to do the work first, and then we'll come along with this quote unquote restore quote plumbing assistance to help you. No, Doc. No, Doc. No. Don't do that to the people again.
You got to get him caught in his own mess.
Yeah.
Anybody, if it's about discoloration and things of that nature, you really do need to talk to a professional about your pipes. They can check, they can scope, they can do lots of things to determine if there's typically brown water is going to be a sort of a rust-driven problem because of the type of pipes we all had when.
Or you could find the money, okay, put it to the side right now and contract a plumber to go to everybody's house, a plumbing company, and let that plumbing company go through instead of putting all that burden on the people. Because if you find out that it's not my pipe, then you got to come up with the money to fix on your end. You see what I'm saying?
Older houses were installed plumbing way back.
Now, what you say?
More modern PVC and other things. Obviously, you'll have less of a risk of that, but that has to be determined. And I don't have a percentage today. I can't look anyone in the eyes and say, I think this percentage is customer side and this is city side. I have a suspicion. I think I know the answer, but I don't have it exact. And certainly that, again, we're joking about metrics and numbers earlier. That can be hard, right? You could have it in a neighborhood be one percentage, but if we're out flushing real hard, hydrants and everything, and it gets up, well, that could change in that dynamic moment. That could change in that neighborhood. If a lot of brown water were to come in or something, hate to say it, but quote unquote, busted loose. So something, because you could have a clump of things that get stirred up and it rushed down a main and cause that. This is a consequence of aging infrastructure. So there's city infrastructure that's aging, and there's your homes that have aged personal infrastructure. It's a combination of those two things. Okay. Immediate question on brown water.
Okay, so this is my and maybe my dynamics of how I'm looking at public. So if you fix the infrastructure, which you have not done, if you fix the infrastructure on the outside, then it could be determined. Yes, exactly. You can be it. The determination would not be hard, because if you fixed it on your end, automatically we know whether or not it's the houses. So you should be fixing the infrastructure of the city first.
And what he should do is fix that porch, because the porch gonna fall down.
No, I'm saying period. I'm talking about somebody. Okay, he's the mayor, and his job is to make sure everything is working right. That is his job. So if the water department can get people or get their crew together and do some construction work, and that means create or fix the streets, because the streets are old. Alexandria's old. You go through and find out, you pick the places where the most brown water is being found. You fix your side of it, the mayor's side, the city side of it. And if the water is still brown, then we know automatically it's the people. So what I have an issue with, instead of him howling about the people should do it, he should already have the city taken care of, the city side of the water, by cleaning up those pipes, cleaning them out and replacing them. He's howling about what the people need to do. But what are you doing on your end? Yeah.
Good. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to our next item on legislation, which I think is going to be the most important thing and what we really need to address today.
I know. I just told them that they're replacing all that. Yeah, the water well, $1 million. Okay, that's what it was. I told them about Nefariuous.
I never faced all of the pipes. With the plastic pipes.
Yeah.
They were taking up all the down
pipes out.
But
Yeah.
And then they're redoing the whole water well.
Well, yeah. So
and it's the treatment of how they treat the water.
Yeah, it's the way you treat the water. Exactly. So my husband was just saying that what Nefariuous did, they got $17 million to change out all the water wells and the infrastructure, the pipes and stuff for the city of Nefariuous. So, and then treating the water that got the brown water in it, they're treating it. So that's why I'm saying he's full of it. He's full of it. And y'all got to understand he is. And you got to understand he's full of it. He is. Let me see.
A little Napoleon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Use the money they were going to use for the irrigation system. That's exactly right. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's no excuse. I'm not going for the excuses. I'm not for the excuses. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. I don't want to hear it.
Miss Augustine, what? Oh, doctor, I'm sorry. She's got the issue at her house. Doctor, did you have, are you personally, well, okay. Do you have personal issues?
You know, with groundwater,
Yeah.
it was episodic and it was.
I don't want to get your business in public. Do you mind first?
No, I do not.
Okay, go ahead.
It happened twice and it did run clear and it ran clear
That's
yesterday.
Dr. Bowles.
And so forth. So
This week, though, you had the issue. yesterday.
The beginning of May, so we're within the 1st of May.
Marcus went, and Doc, I asked him that today because that was my first question, because I want to be able to tell people, okay, wait a minute, did you start flushing? When did we start? Sam said today that it's been this week, right? We're flushing right now.
Yes.
You can attest to that.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
And when we get complaints, we'll go to that section and start. As
So
soon as we
you
get a
would
complaint
rather-
about what's been there,
Who would
we'll go out there
rather
and start
flush
flushing.
water out instead of just going in there and pulling up that, yes, and pulling it up and cleaning it out or whatever needs to be done? You'd rather start just wasting a lot of water by flushing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
and Dr. Bowles, I'm so sorry. I absolutely know who you are, and you know that I do. I got a little off because I don't want to put anyone else's business out. There's some strong issues with another citizen who's got issues, so I wanted. You said you were satisfied.
Well, it didn't run dirty today, but I have a video of what it looked like, and I was gonna show whoever was questioning. It's pouring into the washing machine, and it's very clear with.
Well, that's good. I can see that from here. So that's not good.
And I had to do 3 cycles, and the water never ran clear, so I just didn't do laundry that day. And when I checked subsequently, it's not still that color, so.
So we don't have a full launch, Paul and crew, yet of how we're doing this Alex Connects thing that I announced a few weeks ago. I don't want to be improper, so I'm going to think about how to approach Dr. Bowles on this, because I know what'll happen if I say, I'm going to go, she's going to be first. That's beta test here, and we go, and she knows what that means, and we go do that. Someone's going to say, you did it because she's a doctor. So,
I'll wait my turn.
well, but it may be the best. You may have exactly the set of circumstances. We should go beta first. So let's talk about that afterward. And if that's the case, let's use her right now, because
She lives in she lives in a whole community. She lives in a whole community.
She sure do.
So I'm trying to figure out who else is complaining about the water brown in that area. I don't know.
it's fresh, and that may be exactly what helps us to chase this around. So I've talked about that before, chasing it around, because that's exactly what it is. We have to implement a program where we're more smartly flushing and figuring out where the issues are. But guys, the infrastructure in Alexandria, in some cases, is well past what its supposed useful life was. The real beauty of it all is because things were built so well back in the day, much for your time, young Colin, we're still living in it. And if I go study it, it's still in really good shape for the most part. It still works. By today
Isn't that flower? It still works.
standards, we wouldn't be in the useful life of a lot of things if it were judged by the same amount of years. So because Alexandria's infrastructure is so good, things are purring along past their useful life, but that ain't a good place to be, because one day that won't be the case, right? And water is essential. It is the most essential thing that we provide and deliver. And so we're going to have to really be on top of this. All right, moving on. Legislation regarding executive branch employees. So I want to make sure that I am properly, I wish more of the members had come today, but I think because of the holiday, it didn't get noticed where everybody had it on Friday or knew about it. So that's not a criticism. That's a product of the time last week and all the things going on. We were asked in item 3 on the Legal Affairs Committee that will be at 4 p.m. tomorrow to comment on House Bills 249, 247, 47, 33, and Senate Bill 51 of this session. I take any legislation that we do as a very serious role in the job. This is probably more than we normally do. We don't typically have a lot of bills. There is no question that you want, should, and I believe are required to have your council informed when there's legislation. Even if that legislation is strictly under the charter within the mayor's province, you want people to be informed. There's just no question about that. It's smart, it's polite, it's how you deal with other colleagues. just say this a lot when I give First Amendment talks to people and in other areas, just because you can, i.e. you have the right, doesn't mean you should, at least i.e. that way, right? You have the right to do something, but maybe you should do it a certain way. Just because you can doesn't mean that's how you should, at least if you want to work with people. I mean, if your idea is to go fight and knuckle it up with people all the time, then I guess that's what you're going to get. So I want to make sure that I unpack this today because there's a bunch of council persons here so that they can help tomorrow. And I did open with, I know there's some politics in it too, but we're all big boys and girls and we can work through that. But unpacking it today helps us talk through it at the council meeting, which is not always, there's sometimes other forces and desires in the room, not the council members. Persons there who have other agendas that want to disrupt. I don't want to disrupt. So you get
yeah. I've been talking to you for the last, what's the name? You ain't answered not one question. Now, what do you want?
Man, I was having audio issues. Did that man get up there? What did he just say?
You want me to play it again?
Yes, please.
Knuckle it up with people all the time, then I guess that's what you're going to get. So I want to make sure that I unpack this today because there's a bunch of council persons here so that they can help tomorrow. And I did open with, I know there's some politics in it too, but we're all big boys and girls and we can work through that. But unpacking it today helps us talk through it at the council meeting, which is not always, there's sometimes other forces and desires in the room, not the council members, persons there who have other agendas that want to disrupt. I don't want to disrupt.
Okay,
so you get two unpacks.
Now, you heard that, right?
He said he want to do it, but not in public.
No, that's not what he said. You're not even listening. He said, okay, go ahead. What you think he said?
He said, yeah, we can do this, but just not in public.
No.
Run it back.
He said, that's not what I got. Hold up.
He said, I can love you, but only
should, at least i.e. that way, right? You have the right to do something, but maybe you should do it a certain way. Just because you can doesn't mean that's how you should, at least if you want to work with people. I mean, if your idea is to go fight and knuckle it up with people all the time, then I guess that's what you're going to get. So I want to make sure that I unpack this today because there's a bunch of council persons here so that they can help tomorrow. And I did open with, I know there's some politics in it too, but we're all big boys and girls and we can work through that. But unpacking it today helps us talk through it at the council meeting, which is not always, there's sometimes other forces and desires in the room, not the council members, persons there who have other agendas that want to disrupt. I don't want to disrupt. So you get two unpacks. You get tomorrow and you get today.
So that's what he said. I don't know where you got that from that he said you don't want to talk about it. He said he was talking about people who come up there and have, like Linda Bell, like me, like Mr. Porter, like White. That's what he was talking about. That's what he was indicating. Now, do you understand what he was saying? I got it. Now, what you say?
I said, okay.
Okay, that's what he said.
Jim, as I understood the comment, this was an unusual way to do it. So I'm gonna start with that. It's not unusual at all. Let's just go through the charter items real quick and then let's erase the board on that. Because at some point, as I just said, who cares? It's about getting along and talking through it. Section 207 of the charter is a proscriptive item. Proscriptive, meaning a prohibition. Neither the council nor any of its members shall in any manner dictate the appointment, and it has removal too, but just the appointment of employees whom the mayor or any of his subordinates are empowered to appoint. In the appointment process is the...
Wait a minute. Isn't that common sense? That's strictly common sense.
Oh, Lordy.
That's common sense. That's literally common sense that they already know the city council doesn't have any jurisdiction over the administration. Nobody in the administration, because they belong to the mayor. That's the administration. So why would you need to say that?
Being and then talk about.
Oh, no, he's trying to make a point. That's why.
Promotion process that's part of civil service. We know that as a matter of law. So when I'm talking about the police item we'll talk about and other things, those are solely within the province of the mayor. The council's power, what power does the council have? A lot. Money. Money is their power, the budget. But there are certain things that the framers of this Constitution of the city figured out. The mayor has the total executive power. I'm going to go through that. It's not a braggadocio thing. I'm not saying it is what it is. It's how it was structured for a reason, to balance out powers so that you have an active executive who pushes those things.
Okay, so who don't understand that? And even when you talk about it on the level of if you talk about it on the state level, and if you talk about it on the national level, that's the same. We know that just like we talk about Trump, his administration is his responsibility. Nobody else can come in and say, you got to do this, or they can fire or promote. Everybody knows that. So what are you explaining that for?
He just wants. I'm telling you, man,
And you have a council that has the power over that executive through the power of the purse and the power of policy making, et cetera. And that's where that balance comes in. So it sets up that appointments, promotions, and those persons that work for the mayor are solely subject to that, except for the money part. And it makes sense, guys. It's not a selfish thing. You would have 7 other people plus a mayor trying to decide who gets promoted at all times. That system would fail immediately, and that's why it's not set up that way.
yeah, 7 members.
So here we see what is a prohibitive rule, which is our strongest way the city constitution weighs in. Not everything is proscriptive, a fancy way of saying prohibitive. This is a prohibitive law. The council shall not. So this is in the council section of organization under the charter. It actually is in their part, not mine. Now, mine goes on to be prescriptive, so it's telling you what.
Okay, y'all, I gotta pass this up. I hope y'all understand, because this explanation doesn't. You're talking to grown people that are not retarded. You got people who's sitting in there who's been in state legislation, who knows all that information, who sat in those meetings, who know that. You're not talking to no dumb people. And if you look at the way America's being ran now, everybody knows. That's why they call it Trump administration. We know he only executive orders, right? So we know he has executive power. We understand that, okay? We know that the Congress, everybody else has legislative power. You learn that, like what's the name said, you learn that in civics class. Come on, guys. Come on.
To do now. One is don't do it. This is how you items and others, and I'll still bring them to you guys for a resolution, because I just think that ownership should be shared and that we should all be on the same page.
He's explaining because he went down there and did those what's the names and didn't talk to everybody about it. This is why he has to explain it though, because they didn't know about it.
401 says without any ambiguity. So Section 2 is the council, Section 3 is the executive, Section 4 is the administration. So mostly executive, kind of a mix with council. All divisions, departments, offices, and agencies exclusively under the direction and supervision of the mayor unless given to the council. The salaries of directors of divisions and departments appointed by the mayor, again, affirming who appoints it, are subject to approval by the council. So the council can't individually go in and say what someone gets paid. That comes in the budget. There's an overall approval. Again, that's the check and balance. The individualization occurs at the executive level, RK in the case of civil service, through their pay plans, et cetera. 411, why we're here today. The mayor shall have the right as chief executive to propose to the city council the creation, change, alteration, combination, or abolition of city departments, offices, or agencies, including those provided in the charter. That's A. B, 411 we're in. At the meeting of the council at which an reorganization plan is submitted, the council shall have 30 days to do it. And any interested citizens can be given the opportunity to be heard and talk about that reorganization. Section C. I know y'all are glazing over, but just, I got to set this up and then we're going to roll differently. I'll see Dr. Bowles will be like, no, I didn't come here for this. The city council within 60 days following the date of the public hearing shall either approve or disapprove. So Chuck's looking at me because he knows a lot of these rules. Many times when the council has the power over the purse or something else, its power is an up or down. It can't go in and individually second guess the executive. It has to go up or down. And that's the case here. All right. 704B, Trey, is of course the union item that only the mayor can negotiate with unions, and then the council is an up or down. They're not allowed in negotiation. So all of these bills that are coming up will be employment bills that have to do with me, except as I will otherwise note to you today. And I think everyone will understand where we are. We are doing.
So my question is, what is the purpose of him doing that when this information was already established? That's where I want to know. Maybe I'm moving too fast, but I'm trying to figure out what is all this about if it's already established, the positions and the roles and responsibilities of who does what. You understand what I'm saying?
This right. We didn't seek any declared official policy of the city that we were needing a resolution, and that's what we'd be required to do. If we were going to declare that this is the official policy of the city, if we wanted to try to change a rule for another organization, God knows I'm not going to say the one that comes to mind that's easy that the council makes all the appointments to, because because it's not.
But yeah.
That would be the kind of thing that I could not go propose legislation behind your back, even though all legislation is read 3 times in each house, noted in every newspaper. Everything that we do is not only on the public record, they're broadcasted live and over, just like what we do.
That's why he laughed, because he already knew there's some shady stuff.
Even though that's the case, it still wouldn't be right to do that. This is what the charter says about computer services. I want y'all to remember how we got here. In 403, 4 is again administration, right? Number 2, council. Number 3, mayor. Number 4, administration. 4-03 subsection 11. This is what it says about all of our IT. Remember, what year was our charter written, Trey?
1970.
81 it was adopted? 80?
I think it was 70. Yeah.
Okay.
1970.
So in 77, our charter was adopted. How many times has it been amended since then? Only one time. All right. And it wasn't this. This is what it said about all of IT in the city of Alexandria. We're in 2025. In 1977, David, this is what it said. Managed city computer operations. There's no ellipses at the end of that. That's it. There's no ... That's it. Manage city computer operations. That's what I'm charged and David is charged to do. That clause houses the entirety of the IS systems of the city of Alexandria in the charter.
Okay. So, did you hear that? Tobias, are you still there?
Yes, I come be very inside job.
He just admitted, and maybe we might have not comprehended this correctly, and it could be the way we interpret it. Did he just say that he was in charge of the whole city, the IT management? Oh, so I was right. He justifying his action. Exactly, Mr. Brown. Exactly. Yup. Wow.
He just told on himself.
Wow. Okay. Let's dig deeper into this. Let's see what else he got to say.
So when I ran and put out our 100-day plan, if you look under legal and administration, administrative finance and legal, number one, restructure IT departments, and I have a reserved, sensitive, separate, secure plan. That meant I'm running on this, I'm telling you about it. But obviously, if we say everything that we knew from before, know now that has to be redone, that wouldn't be very smart. So one of the bills that we have up is to pull out of the classified service, civil service, have the right to appoint unclassified persons in there. And I would submit to all of you, Jim, and everybody, that across this nation, in the state of Louisiana, elsewhere, this was organized under finance departments everywhere else too. And over, you're seeing separate IT pulled out. We're late to the game on some of that. This is a norm. Why? Civil service constraints on pay and promotion are inconsistent entirely with hiring the level of people that I'm required for a city our size and with the apparatus we have, that includes a utility system, to do that. And y'all may say, well, just make changes to, love it if that was that easy. Lisa's going to have a letter to y'all tomorrow explaining this challenge. But this is a norm everywhere. When I testified in the House the other day, it was moved. Gotcha, Mayor. We all experienced it. People started telling their stories. When I came in addition to the hack, there were lots of challenges here. But there's a protection on this one. This one's going to be different from the police one, which I think is 100% only within our authority in the executive. This one may require total reorganization. That comes back in front of y'all. If I just hired one person, maybe you could do it. I could do that now. What you approved by ordinance already that we're operating under the ISSAP, our plan right now, we did, not unusually, on December 22nd, 2022. Anyone can go pull the record here and see that there was I think it was my first council meeting. If it wasn't the first, it was the second. It's the first and only executive session we called for. I know y'all have had some on settling legal cases. I didn't participate in those, but the only one I've called and had and participated in was that one, the first one and only. And I went upstairs with you guys. I had a PowerPoint presentation. I walked you through what happened with the solar winds things, all of the different deals. We specifically discussed reorganization. We specifically discussed going to unclassified persons. And I don't want to name names, but one person who does a lot of IT, IS type stuff, who's on this council was like, I can't believe that we haven't allowed that already. So while I didn't seek a resolution because we weren't seeking, if you recall, we even talked about that, to come out and have a vote and do things. One, we had to get a plan first. Hire.
So who's the IT person on the city council? Hello? What? Okay. Everybody just left me. Okay. So the IT person on the city council, who is that? I need to find that out because I hope y'all not saying Gary.
Some outside folks.
I hope you're not saying Gary Johnson because
contractually first, develop a plan and come back to you if we want to reorganize. We're not at that point yet. All I'm doing now is getting the legislature, because you have limited amount of bills and times to get in front of them.
I want to know who they are too, Mr. Brown. They better not say Gary Johnson, because I don't believe he IT. There's no way, shape, form, or fashion you can tell me he IT. No way, shape, form, or fashion will I believe that. I would not believe that with my arms wrapped around my neck. I wouldn't believe that. I wonder who that is. Lord. Okay, let me get back. I'm sorry, y'all.
To give us the authority to mix classified and unclassified as we see fit later. Not only not unusual, just the smart and only way to do it. There's nothing nefarious here. It's not, it's so simple in that way. On your item, I gave you a list of things under ISSAP that information system security assessment project. all the stuff we talked about in that meeting. It's all on here again for you. And this is what's in all of our contractual work that we're doing. So I'll put it on your notice for this meeting, not hiding a thing. There it all is. And if you look at that plan, one of the items is under program objectives. I bolded and underlined it for you guys. I don't know if I did it on yours. Maybe it's just on mine. To identify changes to the oversight, management, and job duties of the employees operating the system. That's one of many. To conduct an independent assessment, remediation, and placement in better practice of the city's IS and IT system. To optimize the system against future threats. Guys, this is all about threats and vulnerabilities. And we're chock full of them. And you have a duty, as do I, to avoid and try.
Okay. Okay. So if you, prior to Jeff Hall, okay, let me go back over here. Prior to Jeff Hall, you were the mayor. You never recognized any of these vulnerabilities? Just a question. You were in charge. So you didn't recognize any of these vulnerabilities? You didn't understand these vulnerabilities at all? I'm curious. I'm very curious. Yeah, I'm just calling back in. I'm curious. You didn't pay attention to this when you were in office the other 3 times?
Hello?
Okay. It's just me coming back. You left? Okay.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, it went off. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we're talking about these vulnerabilities. Prior to Jeff Hall coming in office, were you, because you admitted it, you said that you're responsible for the IT, right? So prior to him coming in office, were you in charge, and did you pay attention to these vulnerabilities of your city itself? Because it's mighty funny, and I just look at it from this standpoint, if you guys can. It's mighty funny that out of all the time that, quote unquote, they had vulnerabilities, the only time they were breaches when Jeff Hall was in office. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a joke.
Yeah. It's just funny. He was in there prior to, so they never had a breach before. Anybody know? I guess I would have to ask Mr. Porter. So have they ever had a breach before? Because this is just weird that when Jeff Hall is in there, there's a breach. So
no, that's an inside job.
Yeah. So it's just strange. It's just to me strange. And the ideal that Jeff Hall turned around and rehired or contracted after Marcotte left. It took him 18 months to get rid of Marcotte, but after he left, when the breach happened, if you guys remember, when the breach took place, they hired a contracted Marcotte back into the system. So why was Marcotte still having total access to the city of Alexandria's utility information?
And he wasn't working there.
He wasn't working there anymore. He still had access to that whole situation because it's Jeff Hall contracted him to come back and work. So that's why I keep saying, y'all, Jock Roy never left. He had to have somebody overseeing everything that was going on in those 4 years. So I want to make sure that I'm not just saying anything. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong once the information gets out. But please, I do not remember any type of breach, any type of security, anything with the city of Alexandria as long as Jock was in office. Why did it take place with Jeff?
That's right. When it comes to Jeff,
there was a problem.
There's a problem.
Yeah.
Talking about $20 million. Don't you know if the person took $20 million, he was going to jail?
Yeah. It's just strange. It's just real strange to me. Okay.
But to mitigate against any future threats. You can't zero them out. You can only mitigate. And part of that mitigation is having the best people we can afford with the most nimble nature to fire and hire as we can get and pay as we need. I'm not sure what plan I'm going to bring you at the end. I do know this, and we'll commit to it in writing if any of your members need it, that one, you're going to get the reorganization plan first. So there's your vote. Nothing happening. You don't need a resolution to the legislature. The legislature is just authorizing us to make a plan that civil service wouldn't otherwise do. Okay? So you don't need a resolution for that. What you need is, okay, bring the reorganization, we'll look at it then. You've already weighed into me in that executive session meeting that you wanted to do this, but it didn't require a vote yet. And when it does, we'll look at it together. If y'all recall, to be very specific, we even talked about with Gary, because of his background, that he might want to head up a committee.
Oh, okay. See, I told y'all. Oh my God, you gotta get the bottle out of his hand first. Okay? You gotta remove the doggone. I'm sorry, but you gotta remove the alcohol bottle out of his hand before you get him to do anything important. Come on, y'all. Come on. He an IT guy. Whatever. Okay.
That would be a confidential committee to look through some of these so that the council had a person ground floor with me on reorganization, looking at the threats. Lizzie, you recall that? I even remember this. I even made a joke and said, well, Gary, I guess I'm going to have to build us a skiff, which is a confidential room. It was a joke, but that's how detailed that meeting was. I remember all this like yesterday. And you might say, well, why has it been 2 years? Because under the ISSAP, we had private consultants, and still they're there making recommendations, looking at it. So it's not right to bring to you guys yet. This legislation simply allows us, if we so choose, to change it. There is no plan whatsoever in.
So why did you have to do that? My thing is, if you already have the power and the autonomy to do it, why would you need it? Yeah, why would you even need it? Yep, just like you said, Director of Information Systems. Oh, but yeah, so if you already have this power, what is the need to go to legislation and make a bill up? Because that would be considered, okay, so he's talking about hiring somebody that's non-classified in the IT, basically, I think it's saying, so he wouldn't fall up under civil service, in other words. But if you just, I don't, maybe I'm confused with what he's saying, because I'm trying to figure out, was that, I don't know, that don't sound right, but that's me.
I don't, is it okay? Yeah, so, I apologize. Gary Johnson, fuck does what?
So he's saying that he would be the person that he could head up a committee, I guess, to choose or to help out with the IT process, the IT part of whatever it is he's trying to do. I wouldn't let Gary touch anything.
Okay, so first off, don't we have homeless people?
Yeah, we got.
Don't we have crime? Don't we have poverty in the city?
Okay, so what's your point?
Yeah, I mean, of all the committees you could actually create to solve something and to put Gary in charge of.
Well, the reason why he's saying that, you have to understand, he's trying to explain the executive orders that he went to Baton Rouge to get.
I know, I watched this part.
Okay.
No, I'm saying, Gary, for one, Gary can't, Gary's not a person that no, bro. First off, Gary wasn't in IT or IS. Gary originally, what his first story was is that he was a budget. Yeah, he was a kind of like accountant, a pencil pusher, if you will.
Well, you got to mess with computers.
No, not to the point of where you become IT.
Well, he said he was a budget analysis. You know about IT. This is what
no, bro. You can't. No, bro. You can't, bro. That's just it. I don't want to expound on that. You just can't. Everything you're telling me is one of the things you're telling me is false information.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying. Okay.
How can, okay. All right. Yeah, you do. Okay. All right.
Conceptually to do anything to our folks now. But I can tell you there's this. They're not going to stay organized as they are. They may all stay on. We're not trying to get rid of anybody, but how we're currently configured, absolutely that isn't going to stay that way. Never was, wasn't going on December 22nd, 2022, and shouldn't be in place that way now. But we have enough consulting and other help right now to where this is making this work. But at some point that has to change. Okay? So I hope that explains it, but I mean,
Which bill's this? Which bill's this?
sorry. I need to check.
That's
Yeah, that's 30.
for election.
I was just trying to figure out what that got to do with, why is it that you have to do all that if it's something, why did you have to put it in the bill?
33.
I'm not understanding. And he's not really good at explaining things in layman terms. Because what he just said to me, you're saying that you want to be able to hire non-classified people in positions like that. So what was the purpose? Because what did it have to do with civil service?
Oh, nothing.
I'm not understanding that part.
This is being carried by Representative Johnson, who's Speaker Pro Tem. It was a simple change. Chuck will know it. Maybe some of you will remember this or not. 390 balances the charter unclassified appointments against not allowing a mayor to have an unlimited amount of mayoral assistants. It was a balanced design first by Ned. Then we had to add a few. It's the one that says city attorneys are exempt. You know, certain people can't be classified because they're like an attorney. Jonathan, he's got to have the right to terminate them or not, because it's a client-based thing, a trust-based issue, a fiduciary issue. This just adds to that.
But you won't get rid of trade gifts.
Very short list we have of those people who are exempt, part-timers, et cetera, a classification. And it's very simple, I think, how we worded it. The current Act 390 has these people are exempt from classified civil service. Elected officials.
Okay, so why are you going over this stuff that's already, let me go forward, because
All of you and me.
it's not relevant.
Since being mayor that first time with certain employees who are scheduled to work less than 32 hours a week. That was the part-timers.
Like nobody,
At all. In fact, we had a full meeting, Lizzie, as you remember, on exactly this upstairs. It was my first, I think it was the first council meeting since I came back.
so he's been in there.
So the ISSAP is a public record contract. So the contract that does all this and sets up the reorganization, that's public record and that's published. It was approved by an ordinance already by you. That's a public record. You already voted on it. A reorganization has to come back before the council, number 2. And 3, it's only about protecting vulnerabilities, and hopefully in tandem with the only other thing we're talking about is we want to make sure that the utility vulnerabilities are fully protected, which is the scariest part of it. We have not had someone do a lot yet with it, but that would be your most vulnerable problem. If somebody were going to do harm to this city, that would be the way you'd want to do it. Infiltrate those systems.
Oh, wait. Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute, did he say,
He's telling it all.
wait a minute, y'all, did he just say that it wasn't?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay, Tavares,
Yeah.
what did he just say?
Run it back. Just go back 13 seconds.
He just said that nothing happened. Let me make sure. Let me go back. Okay, let me go back.
The utility vulnerabilities are fully protected, which is the scariest part of it. We have not had someone do a lot yet with it, but that would be your most vulnerable problem. If somebody were going to do harm to this city, that would be the way you'd want to do it.
Oh, did he just did?
He told all his.
Oh,
What did he tell you? He told you that it never happened?
that's what he said. He said if somebody wanted to do something, the utility company. But that's what. Oh my God.
One to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was one to do it.
Oh.
He just told on himself, y'all.
Mm.
Said thankfully nothing happened yet, didn't he? Play it back. Play it back. You gotta rip it to the ground.
Okay. Hold up. Oh.
Come back before the council, number 2. And 3, it's only about protecting vulnerabilities, and hopefully in tandem with the only other thing we're talking about is we want to make sure that the utility vulnerabilities are fully protected, which is the scariest part of it. We have not had someone do a lot yet with it, but that would be your most vulnerable problem. If somebody were going to do harm to this city.
You heard that.
So did. In black and white.
Oh, because what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I told you the only person that would try to come after Alexandria like that is somebody who knew.
Inside.
Inside. And he just told it.
So wait a minute. There's another part, right? Where he said did you get to the part where he said he created the restore program?
Not yet. No, we haven't got there.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. You stay awake because I know you're going to sleep. You think I don't know it. We hear you. Wake your ass up.
That would be the way you'd want to do it. Infiltrate those systems.
Like Spain,
What's that?
like Spain recently.
I mean, this would be an ITIS version, but that would be the scariest one. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be physical. We've already had things happen before. So just take a shot at a tower or whatever, a water tower. I mean, those things have happened. We have to be able to provide.
Wait. Who shot at the water tower?
He said, ain't nobody shot at no goddamn water tower. Why wouldn't you mention the damn breach?
Nobody shot no water tower.
What did he say? Did he say something else happened before? Is that what he just said?
There's nothing else that's happened since. Ever. Since somebody shot at the water tower.
That's exactly what he said. Wow.
So
I
don't know, folks. I want y'all to conclude whatever y'all want to conclude. Because at this point, I'm starting to think that he was behind it.
Yep.
It was a problem that he was behind that he wanted to fix, but it was really a money laundering problem, or it was like a money getting problem. It was a scam or something like that. So that scam required the restore program. And so he had to create the restore program in order to run the scam. But the whole entirety of the scam is that breach in security was an inside job, because you can't tell me that he didn't have access to the utility system from the house.
From the house. That's right.
Him and Marcotte did.
Yep. Yep. Him and Marcotte. That's right.
So you can't tell me that thing exists and it doesn't. I mean, I don't know what you can't tell me. I was just saying you can't tell me this shit's real, because that nigga's lying. I mean, that he's lying.
Whoa.
For methods of security that are technology driven to see, hear, bounce off sound on that, figure out and vector where something is, do all that. And that's not something you would publish as a plan to the public, else it not have any meaning. So those things have to be considered separately from a normal public record.
Okay, wait a minute. So you're saying if the system was breached, you're not supposed to allow the people to know something happened? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I'm getting out of that. Why
No.
wouldn't you let the public record? That's their information. That's their information.
Sure is.
So why would you say they can't make that public knowledge if something was to happen with the system? That's what he just said. Am I wrong what he just said?
We don't want to put things in perspective and get things out of here. We do want to, and Donna, you can agree that there's hot sauce and water don't go together.
Oh my God. You said hot sauce and water don't go together. Oh my God, you stupid. Wow.
And there's people out there. There's people out there that'll do it. And that's unfortunate. But we don't think that that's a good idea. And Terry, you can agree. You can agree. And we've talked about this. Me and you, Cindy, we talked about this. All you do is name drop and try to try to solidify his point with a non-point.
Yeah, with a non-point. That's right. You're right. Ain't that something?
The contracts with whom you do it, the amounts of money, all of that's a public record. But how we handle our utilities, resource planning while we're in process, you're going to hear me say that a lot. While we're in process, that cannot be. Should we publish our resource plan when we're done? Some people would say no. Yes, we should. The Public Service Commission makes private guys do it. We should do that. Lafayette publishes all that. Right now we do. I don't ever want to change that. But while you're negotiating, Chuck, for RFPs and other things to get information, should that be a public record while in process? No. Someone can hedge against you. Someone can bet against what you're doing. Someone can go buy the gas piece that you want to try to get. Someone can, we'll do for that because we're 4 times the size.
If he got more money, then you can do it.
That's the nature of business, sir.
Yep, that is. That's right. That's competitiveness.
That's the nature. That's how business works.
That's interesting.
He said all of this may very well be legal. However, coming from him, it's questionable at best. Hey man, I feel the same doggone way, bro. All this explaining that he doing, bro, it drove the piss out of me. It really did. Because like I said, you're sitting up there talking and moving and saying people's names and pointing in directions and shit, and you're not saying nothing. You're giving a big ass air burger presentation.
Nothing he said makes any sense.
It's not. He's not good. He could never be a teacher because he doesn't know how to explain things. He really don't. And he doesn't know
who doesn't know how to explain things? Somebody that never had to explain anything.
Exactly. Yep. That's right. That got his way, no matter what they did.
That makes no sense. So your competitive processes are already an exception under the public records law. We want to make sure that we're an exception too, just in the utility, just in its enterprise form. People's bills, those aren't public records for private utilities. They are for us. That's not going to change. I have a different view on that. I don't like that people's bills are public. I don't like that people say that the city cut me off when I know it's not for what they're saying, which is daily. But I still don't want to go put their business out on Front Street, as we might say. That's not the design. But right now you can't.
Okay.
He lined his ass off because he did bring Stephen Sharp and Jack Hinton's utility bill up to the front of to that very seat he's sitting in and told people they could come look at their bill.
Yep, sure did. Now,
he told people, and see, that's why I can never be Jack and I can never be Stephen because, man, I'll never let nobody put no smut on my name, bro. I'll never let nobody talk shit about me the way he's talking right now because he's lying and he knows he's lying. But like ain't nobody, he's so used to people not saying nothing.
Yeah, he's used to people being quiet. It's only a handful.
that name calling be him trying to keep them people in check. You know.
Yeah. I'm talking to you. You know I'm talking to you.
Yeah, you might want to be careful.
Good. He said he's the teacher from Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. That's what he sounds like. Oh boy.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to look at a bill, KLB did a story. If someone were to go pull the bills of the people in the story, their billing history, you're going to have your answer. KLB chose not to do that. I think they shouldn't have run the story until they do that. But
you see how he's always correcting other people? He don't like to be corrected, but he wants to be.
This nigga said if I ran KLAB, I'd put them people business out there. That's what I would do.
Basically, that's what he said. Not only that, he's talking about the lady being behind on her bill. That's what he's trying to say, that they should have checked before they went and ran that store because you made him look bad. See, this all goes back to what makes him look like, because you made the Alexandria utility service look bad by telling them they cut that person off when that person owned the deal.
So you know what? It didn't look bad till it was on the news. Before it just looked bad.
Yeah, it was all right until he put it on the news.
Yeah, it was all right.
In other words, because KLB didn't do their quote unquote research, they would have found out that
maybe that wasn't what the story was.
Yeah. And they chose not to do that. You heard how he said that. He was being condescending and telling them, oh, you did something wrong. You just was trying to make us look bad.
That nigga can barely run a city. I don't think he can run a news station.
No, he's too a narcissist. He's too narcissistic.
Also don't like the idea of doing that because you know, so it's a kind of a catch-22. If they're going to run the story but not get the facts, then we get a little beat up by that.
You see, I told you, I just said that, and I have never watched this video. I told you it's all about how he looks. That's that narcissist thing. You're not going to make me look bad. They should have did their own checking. They should have did a better job of finding out what really went on before you throwed out the story. That's what he's saying. You made me look bad. That's what he was saying. It wasn't about just AUS. It was him. His reputation was tarnished a little bit.
I would say don't run the story till you confirm the facts. KLB might answer that, guys, and this is hard to hear when you're in the public life role, but they may say it doesn't change it. Someone said it to us, so we can run a story just by what someone says.
Now, why are you spending time on that? Why is that even important? Why is that even important?
It's going to come up again. It's going to come up again.
Yeah. His feelings was hurt. His reputation was hurt. Yeah. His ego. There you go. His ego was hurt. That's right. Yeah. It's always somebody else's fault. We've been telling y'all that. Yeah. His ego was bruised. Yeah. Why is this even a factor? You said what you had to say. Move on to something different. Why you call yourself trying to scold KLB in front of us? That's what he's doing. And that's what a narcissist does. He doesn't like to take accountability of nothing. He wants to blame everybody else. Now, you're spending too much time on this right now. Okay, so they ran a story. They didn't do. Who are you to tell them what they didn't do? Yeah. Who are you to tell them what they didn't do? Let's talk about your years as the mayor, what you haven't done with your crime-ridden city.
Because that's what they're saying. And again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay? That's for y'all to think through. So that is a council policy. I don't know how to answer that for you guys, but right now, every utility bill history is a public record. So every time, I don't want to pick on KLB, every time anyone in the media runs a story or you get a call at home about someone, you can pull that history and you can get your answer. And you guys do that. And that's why it doesn't hit that mic anymore, because you're able to see. What I read in the story, both in
Okay, so what does he mean? He's saying that, see, he's still on it. You see how he's still on it? Because he doesn't like, you are not going to make us look bad. That's Jacques voice. You're not going to make us look bad, and it's the people's problem if they don't pay their bills. And they complained, and they didn't even look at the idea that that person might have been behind their bill. You didn't even look that up. Now, you're listening to how he's saying they're looking up people's bills regardless. If it doesn't have anything to do with any situation, why are you looking up their bill, whether it's public knowledge or not? You don't have a reason, but if somebody says something to one of them, they're going to go look up their bill. You see, that's why it's not being coming to the show. No, because you stopped them from talking about utilities. Marcotte was the one who said and told them, and Lee Rubin was another one said that they couldn't talk about their utilities. That's why people are not coming up there and complaining about their utilities, because you were behind that. Quick as I believe it shows I'm a black woman. You was behind them telling them not to bring up utilities in those meetings. That's what I believe from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry, I do.
in the electronic version and the one that aired on news,
Yeah, that bothered
it's not close to the reality of what happened.
Yeah, that bothered him.
It's in another dimension in terms of realities, and it easily could have been avoided. So, you know, I want to do better by that. I've offered to try. I don't know how. KLB may say, well, we reached out for a comment. Well, okay, if they reached out for a comment about a story, no one knows. Michael's not there. Michael's right here.
You see how he's trying to beat up KLB? He's doing this on purpose. He needs to humiliate them. That's how a narcissist sociopath works. He has to humiliate them. You move on to the next damn conversation. This is not something you need to keep harping on. That's my issue with him. He's got to prove that he's right. Move on. Move the fuck, excuse my language, but move the fuck on. You know?
If the outreach is simply this, we're going to run a story about two people that say they were cut off for pennies.
He will not stop talking about it. Move on.
What's your comment? That isn't a fair question. Alexandria as a constitutionally organized municipal corporation free to give away services to some citizens and not others? Yes or no? Are we constitutionally prohibited from doing so? Okay, so the IT bill, IS bills, I've explained exhaustively to you. The other bills we were asked to comment on was number 47, and that is the method of appointing and filling vacancies in the promotional class. That is solely within the appointment authority of the mayor under our charter.
Okay.
That is about adding competition to promotions in the police department. Nowhere in the civil service of the city of Alexandria is it not competitive except that. So our regular Alexandria City Civil Service is by merit. The police department is solely by seniority, which means time in the job. Look, I challenge anybody. This is a way of getting better police. Find anywhere in the private or public sector where that is the case. The military or anywhere else. I polled it when I ran. I used a scientific poll, but I won't see where people are. Giving you those two as baselines, let's lock it down. If you had to choose just one, should police promotions in your city be based primarily on merit or primarily on seniority, length of service? And you were given those two choices, exactly the same. Box one, merit-based, or competitive classing. That's the term I always called it, right or wrong. I always call it competitive classing. So y'all have heard me say it. You've heard me say it individually to you. You heard me say it on the campaign trail, and I've said it in my briefings, and I've said it a few times during budget hearings. There's been no chance for any, and it's the definition of the PS plus our public safety plan that we adopted after I got through campaigning and made it part of our, that's really where they're stuck today. We had them.
I'm sorry, y'all. He's getting it.
The data shows it. Representative DeWitt's carried it. He's proud to carry it. He's a civil service guy. He's got a son in civil service. He's no enemy of this. He grew up in it as a state employee, right?
Why didn't you have this conversation that you were
This time. This is good for our community. It's good for us. So, Jim, my pledge to you guys again is this. I know that's their concern. It's a clean bill right now. Hammond's adopted. Everybody's adopting this. We're not the first to try to do it. All over the country, it's already the law of the land. It's the law of the land in the military and everywhere else. I think I'm keenly able and aware and will be able to write in some things to make sure no spoil system can undo it, because that is not our aim. Right now, the way it's structured is I'm not the appointing authority. It goes in front of a committee. There's all kind of build-ins that loop it back out. If they can't agree, it comes back to seniority. I mean, this is a very thoughtful process we're doing to protect these guys. And I know some of them could be hearing this or will, and they'll come to you and say they don't want it and this and that, and they're going to tell you, we don't know what it could mean. They're going to tell you every excuse in the world because it represents the unknown and it represents a change. But just ask yourselves a simple question. You know what the people feel about it, the people that we serve. And just ask yourself in your heart, is this anywhere right to not have competitive promotion in something as important as that? So the guy with the longest tooth or girl only gets promoted. That is no way to do business. No way. So that's that bill.
Oh, so he's saying.
Number 247, we were asked, I don't, 247 is a bill.
So he's basically saying just because you have the seniority doesn't mean that you should get the job. Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying, Tavon? Tavon,
Yeah,
is that what he's saying?
yeah.
So, okay. That sounds like sort of like and that sounds like, y'all, if you listen to what I'm saying, that sounds like elimination of DEI. I'm just saying. I'm going to throw that out there. Maybe
No. No, that ain't it. Run it back. Run it back a little.
Okay, because that's what it sounds like. Listen to what he's saying. He's getting them a nerve.
Very thoughtful process we're doing to protect these guys. And I know some of them could be hearing this or will, and they'll come to you and say they don't want it and this and that, and they're going to tell you, we don't know what it could mean. They're going to tell you every excuse in the world because it represents the unknown and it represents a change. But just ask yourselves a simple question. You know what the people feel about it, the people that we serve. And just ask yourself in your heart, is this anywhere right to not have competitive promotion in something as important as that? So the guy with the longest tooth or girl only gets promoted. That is no way to do business.
You heard
No
what he
way.
said.
So that's that bill.
Okay, did you hear what he said? He said, just because they have the longest tooth doesn't mean they should get the job. That's what he just said. That's DEI. That's elimination of DEI.
Keep playing.
Number 247, we were asked, I don't, 247 is a bill by Representative Schenover. It has to do with East Baton Rouge abandoned property. So I'm not going to comment on that one. Y'all are free to read it. If that was meant on purpose and not a mistake, and it may be Malcolm or somebody put it on and say, they're doing this, why don't y'all? Then I'm going to study that some more, but because I think it's about expropriation. That sounds like something Malcolm is very keen about. So it may be he wants to talk about why aren't we doing this bill? In fairness to Malcolm, and that could, Mr. Lawbray, in fairness, that could be it. Anyway, I don't know that it makes it any easier to expropriate, but I know it does this. It defines abandoned property, vacant or not lawfully occupied, et cetera, a little differently. And it moves some timeframes up, Trey, so it may definitely be something to consider. So by tomorrow, we'll have studied this and have more of an opinion. We first thought it was just a mistake because it's 247 and there's a 47 on it, but I don't know that looking at it. I think this could be, we want to report on why we're not pushing this. And maybe Mrs. Baby wants us to amend on with somebody. I don't know. So we'll look at that tomorrow. I don't know on that one. Bill 249, we were asked to comment on by Representative DeWitt. That is for the city of Alexandria for city court. I mean, it's the city court bill. It's not my bill. It's not the city's bill. It's the city court's bill. We'll be prepared, Kay, to comment if we need to. I don't know who put them on. I'm assuming Mr. Lawberdane put all these on, but that's an assumption. It could be another member. I don't know that. I'll try to answer any questions he has. Jonathan, the background of this to give all of you is there's a Fifth Circuit decision, as I understand it, from the U.S. Fifth Circuit that says if your city court funds that run your city court are generated wholly or mostly from your criminal fines, it's a due process issue because you would have an incentive as the court to fine defendants in the criminal sense more because that's your means of income. And it is my understanding that Judge Starling, I think rightly, smartly, and should flip that. And I think he did already flip that. And this is we flipped it a few years ago where Judge Starling would be funded by the civil funds that are generated, civil filings, and the city would take the criminal. That way the judge who decides those things has no incentive either way. So ours comes from one. It used to be, I don't know if it was the other way or just mixed or maybe the other way. Yeah. So that definitely needed to switch. So I think his bill is right. And it was a 2 years for us to study and figure out anything about it. And the 2 years is up, Mr. Goins. And I think, is that right? And this is just the removal of the sunset. So if we didn't make it permanent law, it would have sunsetted out, caused a due process issue for him or a constitutional issue for him. And it was the right thing to do. There's some other parts in here about how he funds the court that I'm not going to be the guy. I don't have the depth to talk about. I don't know. But if it's in any way derived from he's funding himself more, it doesn't hurt the city. And he's using those, to me, that's not my business, but it may be one of the council members' business. So somebody on the council may want to weigh in differently. Jonathan, I haven't heard that from any members, so I don't know. This is what I think the bill means. And anybody can go online and get it, and you'll see proposed law, present and proposed law, and you can see that. The part I know is the revocation of the sunset, which we're for. I wouldn't not comply with the U.S. Fifth Circuit for two reasons. One, because I don't think courts should run themselves. I think that is an incentive that could be questioned, and it makes sense to me. And number two, you're going to pack your toothbrush and your little dock kit. If you start messing with the U.S. Fifth Circuit, you're going to have to go spend some time in the pokey. So I wouldn't want to do that either. All right. The last bill was the Senate Bill 51. I've already explained in relation to the ITIS current law as an exception to the public records. LARS 44 3.3 is the one we're affecting. I think 3.2, Trey, or the one right before that is on proprietary and other types of information. So there's already an exception. This is the Public Power Authority law. Right now, the present law says that if you're a public power authority, which is a political subdivision of the state created by the governing authority of a municipality, then your proprietary competitive information, which I talked about with you guys earlier, resource planning, all that, is potentially an exception. You still have to prove it when you get a request, et cetera. Makes total sense. Applies to LIPA and others. You think it applied to Alexandria. Listen to it again. Political power authority is a political subdivision of the state created by the governing authority of a municipality, and it has that exception. But the way we all read that is, that's a political subdivision of the state. The city is a political subdivision of the state created by the governing authority of the municipality. See, it doesn't work for us. You can clearly see the intent is for public power authorities, but it would not include us because unlike LIPA, we run our public power authority as an enterprise and proprietary fund of the city. Very simple what it does, Mr. Ballard. I know I keep picking on you. It simply adds the city of Alexandria to the definition of public power authority. It doesn't change another thing in the law. That's it. I'm writing a policy right now to make it clear that regardless of any freedoms it gives for our friends in the media and otherwise, our policy will be, if it's not in process, that's going to be our written policy, it's a public record. All we want to prohibit is if we're in a resource plan, Trey, where we're negotiating and have an RFP issued and we're grading it, someone can't very smartly go, I'm going to ask for a public, I want to see all of what everybody's saying right now and go hedge against us, which you can do right now. Not to any other utilities, but to us. That makes no sense. That's a competitive disadvantage unintentionally created by the law because we're clearly intended to be included. But I'm going to go a step further to be transparent and show my commitment and right.
Okay, so my question is, why didn't you do this before? Why did you just discover this now? Why didn't you know that you guys wasn't part of the original bill earlier? Why is it just around this time now? That's my question. That's my question. Can you hear me, Tavares? Tavares.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having audio issues.
No, you're not. The audio issue is you need to listen to what I'm saying, damn it. So what he's saying is basically that they were not included in the original executive or bill or whatever because they're their own proprietary what's the name, right? That's what he's saying.
Oh, what he's saying is that he's saying that going forward, they want to keep people from peeking in because of, now he's talking about this competition, these people that are going to come in and want to see it. Who are these people and why would they want to see it? Who will request that? Who would request a FOIA from the utility department?
Well, the idea who's competing, because my thing is who's competing with him if you're the sole provider.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so you know how when Trump wants something to pass, he scares people into making them think in a certain way.
Yeah, that's what he's doing with this. He said that's all it is.
You know what that's called? Do you know what that's called?
What?
Gaslighting.
Yeah, because you saw his laugh, the devilish smile he had on his face. That's all it is.
Trey, you know this. Trey. Yeah. So just like the other day was yesterday, today happens to be Monday, but and Donna, you'll agree that Monday happens before Tuesday. Okay. Yeah. But Tuesday doesn't happen until Monday happens. Okay.
Exactly.
And Gary, you had your experiences in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Good or bad. And that's for both sides. Good or bad for both sides and all the time at the same time. But we're trying to we're just spinning the plates. That's it. Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out who's the competition.
There is no competition. It doesn't matter because what he's saying doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. We're not included in this bill. Okay, but who are you competing? You're
Yeah.
talking about processes and all this stuff. What is? I don't get it. I'm confused because who are you
It's
competing
called
with?
you're competing with a lawyer in a court case.
Oh,
And then
that's
you
what it
compete
is.
it with. That's a real
Because
contest right there. You don't want to lose.
I'm trying to figure out if you own your own utilities. Nobody else said they're gonna come in and take over AUS. Nobody said that. I haven't heard it. I
what
don't
I
think that.
what I've gathered, what he's saying is that they're going to be making patches and fixing stuff within the utility services, and he doesn't want people who would want. He doesn't want public information available for people who may want to. What? That doesn't fucking make any sense.
You own your own utilities. So why would you? I don't get that. You own your own utilities. Nobody's gonna come and compete with you over your own utilities. Is there somebody out there that's gonna do that?
I mean, there's people out there that'll, try to outbid you.
But I'll bid you on what?
Make it clear that regardless of any freedoms it gives for our friends in the media and otherwise, our policy will be, if it's not in process, that's going to be our written policy, it's a public record. All we want to prohibit is if we're in a resource plan, Trey, where we're negotiating and have an RFP issued and we're grading it, someone can't very smartly go, I'm going to ask for a public, I want to see all of what everybody's saying right now and go hedge against us, which you can do right now.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Hedge against you for what?
He's
What
talking about
What are you talking about?
Wait a
Stop
minute.
calling my name.
Huh?
Stop calling my name.
I'll call your name anytime I want to. So
Yeah,
oh, you saying, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. You saying, quit calling my name. I got you. I'm sorry. So, okay, so if an RFP comes up, nobody can compete against him with the RFP by having the information prior so they can outbid them on something? Is that what he's saying?
but they're talking about having IT specialists and IS specialists.
No. This is about utilities. This is not about that now.
What are you doing? Okay, so you want the utilities to be involved in some shit where if you want to do something for them, you don't have to tell
Not to any
people.
other.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to tell people. If you're saying you just want to. Okay, I get it.
If they're making a decision on something, they don't want that information to get out before the process is completed.
It's in process, It's in process.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I might be.
Other utilities, but to us, that makes.
He's cooked. He's toast. That dude is out there. That dude is spaced out.
Because we didn't have it, but okay, so my question is, has anybody, now it's out there for free, they can do it, but has anybody actually done it? That's the question.
Makes no sense. That's a competitive disadvantage unintentionally created by the law because we're clearly intended to be included. But I'm going to go a step further to be transparent and show my commitment and right. I want to make it clear that when we're not in process on any of these, it's a public record. The only thing I would commit to y'all's further thoughts is, where do you want to ever be on that collection side? Look, it helps us if someone makes up a story about their utility bill to then show it's not true. But does it really help? I mean, people are hurting. They're.
See, you see how he keeps going back to that? Now, if you're talking about competitiveness, then why are you going back to this story? Why?
Because it's not about competitiveness. It's about the story.
It's about them making sure that
You're not, everybody has different motivations for it, but it is what it is. I mean, is it our job to go around dinging people, calling and going, oh, here's their record, they're lying to you?
But see, that's what you did.
That's what you do. That's exactly what you do.
Oh my God.
I mean, I would try to get calling them to stop doing that story without looking first. And if it's irrelevant, don't do the
Now,
story.
you heard what he said, right? He wants to stop. He wants to stop the press from reporting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
He doesn't want
did that.
anybody. He doesn't want anybody talking about it or reporting it.
Yes. So it doesn't have nothing to do with competitiveness. That's what it keeps coming back to. Pay attention. That is what it keeps coming back to. That story. That's what he's doing.
That's a criminal returning to the scene of the crime.
Yeah. It hurts him. You're right, Ms. Dixon. It's hurting him because he keeps coming back to that. You were talking about competitiveness. Now you're going back to that story again because you know why? Because people inundated them with conversations about them people coming on there talking. And he's mad at KLB because they claim that KLB didn't do a good story on it. I believe KLB did. And they have an issue because they showed something. That's what I believe. Yeah. He keeps he has a reprobated mind. Yes.
He's reprobated. He keeps
going back to it. If it didn't mean nothing, why you keep talking about it? You want to make sure that nobody gets. It's not about you can look up somebody's bill because see, he's trying to say Colin them didn't look up them people bill their history before they did that story. Like you said earlier, it wasn't about that. The problem was you did turn her off for 2 cents, whether she was behind or not. You still turned her off. You see what I'm saying?
After you said you did, you wouldn't. After they made a payment.
They made it. That was the point of the story, if I'm not mistaken. So why did you do it? See, it's coming back. He keeps coming back to that because it's something that he doesn't want people to have that information some kind of way. Because why you keep bringing that up? It's over and done. The story
if he's going to do the story, look at it. I don't mean to pick on you, Colin, specifically.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did.
I kind of do, but.
What did I tell you? See?
And he was deadly serious too.
Yeah, he was pissed off because he already got a bad reputation about their sorry utilities. And that's what it is. That's his baby. That's him and Mark called baby. So he feels that he has to protect it all the way. And if I have to take up for it, if I have to lie for it, if I have to cheat for it, I'm going to do it. That's what he was doing. And that's why the utility has been such a big eyesore for him, or thorn in his side, in sense. And people who point out to it really pisses him off. You heard what he just said.
It is what it is. I think it's just ought to not be done. Of course, if someone walks in and says, Mr. Vigors, look at this and shows him everything, then to me, what he should do is then go do this.
Now, how many times have he done this? How many times have he done this? This is about the third time he done talked about the utilities. Now, that tells you something. This irritates the hell out of him. That's that narc. You can see it in his face. He's pissed off about that whole story that was told. So what? It was a story. So what? You already look bad because everybody knows that y'all disconnect people. You're upset because it's coming out that you're still doing that? And you're going to punish them for the summer. What?
It's what they have. What did y'all really do? And unfortunately, these cases usually 99.9% of the time it's going to be past due.
How do we know that? You're telling us this, but how do we know that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we believe you? We don't have the reason to believe you. So why are you just saying stuff?
It's so that's so satisfying to him. He's sitting there and he's really, oh yeah, 99% of the time it's wrong. They're wrong. See, I told you they're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're your own resource.
Yeah. He wants full control over everything. That is so right, Ms. Dixon. You are so right. Well, no more extensions from what I've been told on utility bills, and that's his punishment. That's his punishment. That's right. That's his punishment. Yep. This is after folks have paid their bills. Yeah, I believe you, Ms. Dixon. I believe you. And if you look at his expression, look how he's sitting there and he's putting them hands together. See, 99% of the time, you'll see that it's past due. Listen
You'll
to
see
him.
it, but I'll tell you. But I mean, that don't mean I can prove. I gotta, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to prevent it from being proven.
Yes, yes. They are paying bills every 2 weeks now. I believe it. I believe it. And you know what? That's because he has total control over what happens in that utility office.
You don't
and
got
how-
total control because he got to come out and explain this. So
Yeah.
apparently he don't. You don't got all that control.
He got enough control that, okay, now remember now, they guesstimate the bills. They don't have smart meters on their home. So they're guesstimating the bill. So they have total control. That's why there's an issue with utilities. That's why they're having the problems they're having with utilities. People are past due because you guys have them overpriced and you're guesstimating on their damn, what's the name, reading. You're not going to talk about that part. You're not going to talk about
that part.
Huh? Yeah, of course. It's see, they're wrong. See, they're wrong. That's the issue. Yeah, we know what you're doing, Jock.
We're not high. We give you that information. We show you where we rank. We're running a good utility. What we've done for 2 years is clean up a big problem, and we know why. We talked about it in executive session, and we've talked about it in open session. Three distinct decisions were made that put us where we are. We fixed them. I'm the cheerleader. I got to get y'all to quit beating up the utility because it's your best economic weapon right now. We ought to be.
And look at this, and he's proud that it is the economic weapon of the city. That means we ain't bringing in nothing else that's going to be making money. It is your economic weapon. See what we giving you? Listen at this sucker. Listen at him. Listen at him.
Yeah.
Using that to our advantage. It's your best weapon against blight, salary and attrition issues with police and all my other divisions. That thing can be used to help us do that. If it goes away, citizens will pay more than they pay now.
Listen, okay. Wouldn't that be a phrase of gaslighting what he just said?
Actually, he's talking about protecting the utilities.
Yeah,
But
it's not people.
Okay, so here's the problem with that. You don't want people to complain about what you got going on, but you don't got shit going on. You're not making the money. You're putting that quality of life shit in people's face, hoping that they'll take that and ignore the fact that you're not actually doing anything.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. And you're gaslighting the people by saying
You're gaslighting the shit out of the people. Yeah.
So wait a minute. So did somebody talk about it going away? Did somebody say we need to look into another utility company? Is that what that was?
I think it's more or less. Well, I don't know what it is because he's talking around that push, boy. He's talking around that push.
Yeah, because listen to what he's saying. He's saying the people would be in trouble if the utility. So what are you trying to say? What is somebody else looking at buying Alexandria utility? I mean,
That doesn't make any sense because you can have multiple ways of getting revenue in the city, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. But you're depending on the people.
That sounds like somebody that set those utilities up to be the crutch of the city.
That's right. That's exactly what has happened.
Yeah.
It brings % of the revenue. And he ain't talking
about they designed it like that. You think they could design it to where it brings in more?
And
or less. They could have set it up to where it gets more or less.
Yep. But they set it up for it to be the crutch of the city.
So you could have came in and made that a 35%.
Every light bulb and
Listen at him. Hold up, baby.
everything out there, you got to pay to change that in a different way. It's going to be a huge cost.
Listen at him.
You'd also lose all of the, if you will, the forced manpower and other things it brings to bear to fix things quickly in storms.
Okay. Do you hear what that's gaslighting, Tavares? That's what he's doing. He's gaslighting.
That's that emergency money that we're supposed to have to the side anyway.
Anyway, that's right. So you're
telling me that you're going to respond slower because you didn't get the money?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't let me, if this don't go through, then this is what's going to happen. That's gaslighting the people, getting them scared. I
Yeah.
believe somebody else has been talking about the utilities in Alexandria. That's what I believe. I'll just admit.
Now you're in the queue for that investor-owned utility behind everybody else in their service area. You're in the queue. Right now, you go off. I challenge you to tell me how you think we do during storms versus anyone else.
Listen
You
at
would
him.
lose all of that.
Listen at him.
That's what I mean by a weapon. Not a weapon against the people, a weapon for the people.
Listen at him.
Okay.
Okay? So that's what that bill does. So I've gone over the bills, I think. Is that all of them? Yep. They're all good bills. They're all simple bills, and they're all not behind your back or doing anything that you haven't already been totally briefed on before and after.
But if they've been totally briefed on it, why don't Malcolm and what's the name didn't know about it? Why none of them knew about it if they were already totally briefed on it?
What he's saying is that we talked about doing this already, but now we're doing it.
Yeah. That's basically, and that's what he does.
So
He's
don't
very
worry.
good.
Don't worry.
Yeah, he's very good at that. I know
But
that about
the real story is he wanted to do this behind the people back, and somebody found out about it, and that's what he's mad about.
Yeah, exactly. Because my thing is, when you went down there, I think it was a municipality, something was going on down there during the time, or the legislation was in session. So why didn't you talk about these are the bills that I'm going to take forward? I mean, he don't have to, but out of common courtesy, why didn't he talk to all of them about those bills?
Because
Right?
when have you ever known him to tell you what he's doing?
Yeah. You're right.
Today, exhaustively so, to the point where all of you are glazing over. Even after I told you these would be short. But you got a big meeting tomorrow, and what I try to do is head it off at the pass, as they say, and that's what this is. This is giving you the ammunition, any members here today.
Listen at him.
And my media partners, to know that if there's different motives for tomorrow, then everyone can see. This is what it really is about and what we're doing.
So what would be the different motives? What would be the different motives other than trying to find out what did you do? Why did you go down there and do it, and why wasn't everybody informed? What's the different motive? What is the different motive?
I don't know, but he operates the city like a nervous crackhead.
Yeah.
Mr. Goins will be, we're all ready to address anything, but this is what we're doing. We've left no stone unturned for you.
Now, if he did not get that message from Malcolm about what took place, you think he would have had this news briefing today?
No.
All right. Because he could have explained it to Malcolm on the phone, right? Or through the letter, right?
He could have explained it as he was doing it.
Exactly.
You want everything done in the cover of the night.
Yeah. And so if he wouldn't do stuff this way, people wouldn't question you. You know, if you start doing stuff a certain way and people are normal for you to do, okay, yeah, that's the way you do it. That's a different story. But when you do stuff in the sense that everybody has to question why you're doing it, there's an issue with you, baby. With your credibility, with your reputation, because they see you as being shady. That's why they're asking these questions.
Motive, I don't know. Someone tells you, no, y'all have to have a resolution for all these. I would say, no, you don't. And if the council passes a rule, and it has rules about when those occur, the council can pass an ordinance all day long. If that ordinance violates the charter, which one wins?
That's a threat.
Legislature.
That's a threat. That was a threat, because the thing about it is the council would not create an ordinance that's going to violate the city charter, even though they've done it several times and got away with it. They're not going to do it. This council's not going to do it. Not with Jules Green on it. Not with Malcolm on it. They sure the hell ain't gonna do it. So why would you say?
That's crazy that this time last year he wasn't even saying nothing like that.
Yep.
Legislature passes laws every day, Gay, that are unconstitutional. And they're on the books until someone challenges them. I'm not going to challenge y'all on it. I'm telling you up front. This is what we're doing. It's not a secret. And I want to do better always.
Yeah, because it's getting close to your time to be reelected again, and you don't need to be in there. They need to move on. It's time to move on.
But I felt like we explained the ITIS stuff in detail. We've been moving through this at a year and a half. It's overdue. We need to really get this behind us. Okay. I had made a list of every time I brought it up at every meeting, so I'm not going to take y'all through that, but it's been pretty exhausting.
What'd you say?
I said, ha. You mad?
Yeah.
Dr. Bowles, we're going to maybe make you the beta, so we covered that. Restore grants paid to customers, 642 total grants paid. Never did anyone ever owe a grant back. Like, this is just this crazy stuff that circulates. I mean, I've challenged them. I mean, if someone got a grant illegally, would they owe it back? Like they lied in their application? Sure they would, but I don't even think we did that. And that happened. Right? Maybe the right person in here to answer that, but I don't know of any grants so there's no policy whereby you owed your grant back. If someone defrauded the city, I guess they could have to give it back. And so I'll leave room for that. If you defraud the city, you might not get a gift.
A gift?
Restore installment plans created for. So here's how it works, right? Think of Restore. You got two things happening.
Okay.
Someone owes.
So why is Restore coming up again?
Because that's what he's trying to hide. That's what he's trying to hide.
Because you did, the thing is, the people that you put that money payment on, you didn't get permission from them to do that. They didn't apply for it, because your rule was they must apply to get the money. That was your rule. That was what your application said. That's what you said, that they had to apply for. So why did you jump up and throw it on their bill without them knowing it, whether they owed or not? Why did you do that? So he's going to explain it.
A back amount of money, thousands of dollars. Remember a while ago I said
that's not true, because Miss what's name didn't have $1,000 behind on her bill, and you stuck it on her bill.
There were 3 distinct decisions made by the previous administration that led to people not paying a utility bill. Who wants to throw out the number? For how many years? Okay, 3.
Did you include those businesses that were getting off on not paying their bill? Because there was a lot of businesses that didn't pay their bills either.
I was going to say it's closer to 4. But if you make an upset limit on a cutoff where no one can ever be cut off because you think you're doing a favor for people, you're not. You know who gets hurt the worst in that? The person on fixed income who really, because someone has to then later go, well, look, now there's all.
What?
That's gaslighting. See, people don't understand. Like, that'll get your ass whooped in the wrong environment. It will. It'll get you messed up. It will. People will mess you up behind trying to play with them like that. And I think he needs to know that. Like, bro, you play a really dangerous game. You play really fast and loose with people's intelligence. And I don't think you understand how close you are to bumping into a brick wall. Or actually, you've already crashed into a brick wall. And somehow nobody, they didn't call it 911. Nobody's been arrested. There's been no further investigation. They don't know if he was drunk driving or not. And I guess we'll never know.
This back do money out and they go
thin ice. I'm just saying you skating on thin ice.
He does it all the time. He gaslights people.
But you never billed me. How would I ever do that? So shame on me, because it's me. I came up with Restore the summer before I ran and said that isn't fair.
Okay, he said
there you go, folks.
So why did Did you know you was gonna run?
No, here's the thing. You got Reddix to say he the one that came up with it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You got Reddix to say he's the one that came up with it. Not only that, you and Reddix went all across TV. Hey, I know you can't do it. Can you? I want you to switch screens and Google December 21st, 2022.
Where?
Put it in Google and put KLAB. That's what you do. Put KLAB December 21st, 2022 in the Google search.
2022.
Yep.
December 22nd?
First.
Okay. You sure it's not 2023? Oh, I got it. Let's see. Okay.
It should be him. It should be him and Reddix Washington on TV. On KLAB. The same channel he talking shit about right now.
Let's see. Nope. On this one. What
See if I
time
can
is it?
find it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay. Let's see. That's one I just looked at. Let's see. First one up here.
December 21. Oh, you gotta put Louis Alexandria.
Okay.
No, hold on. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. It could be
DeRidder got his first black mayor.
here it goes. I found it. I'm about to share it to you.
Okay.
And I want you to put it up on the big screen for me.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, swap that out.
Okay, hold up. Okay. Let's see this. Okay, I got it. Let me share it. Okay.
I like when people forget. I like when people think we forget. Because I'll be the first one to tell you I don't forget shit. If it's beef for life. Vato, we're gonna die with this beef. Pause.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't sound right. Okay. So here we go. It's coming on.
Mark Mowers, because if something's worth doing, it's
Put it
worth
on the
doing.
big screen.
What's about our honors program? Or get rebates and special financing on Radius mowers for a limited time.
I mean, go full
Visit your
screen.
local Exmark dealer today. Rabelais Small Engines in Alexandria.
Welcome back to Good Day Some Moms. Mayor Jacques Roy and Councilman Reddix Washington join us today for a little chat. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Of course. So, tell us what y'all are working on over at the City of Alexandria for the holiday season for 2023.
Well, we are in the middle of this 100-day plan that is, a lot to get going on, but there are some things even within it. We kind of have it broken down in 30-day increments. Reddix has been championing one part of it that is near and dear to a lot of people, and that is working on some of these problems with utilities. And that is very pronounced, especially this time of year.
Okay, well, so when you say problems with utilities, what do y'all mean?
Well, there was a situation where, due to a confluence of lots of things, I would say, but there was from meter reading to a breach of the city's cybersecurity to
Wait, stop.
things, not getting the bills out, et cetera. The city is faced with a whole bunch of.
Okay.
Okay, so he's lying about that breach. That body language indicates that he's lying about that breach.
Okay, so now he said nothing happened, but now he's admitting that there was a breach. That's what he said.
It can't be both, but it is.
And he said a breach.
He said a breach. He didn't want to say it when he had. He didn't want to say it though.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, keep going.
People have long cycle bills, so we're talking 100+ days. People on fixed income and others just can't handle that, and Rex probably gets a lot of calls, as do I, about that.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing I've been telling people is help is on the way. I guess now we can say help is right around the corner, and so we're just moving forward to handle one of those things and within the new mayor's 100-day plan.
Now, is there a plan in place, or are y'all still working on that plan?
There's a plan in place. In fact, we're going to go from here, Natalie, to a special meeting today and be adopting the rest of what's called Project Restore, RESTOR. And that project is about getting help to people, getting bills separated from these longer cycled out bills to let people have a reset and get it straight. The city also needs to do this. We have to sort of audit, for lack of a better word, the way that this has occurred and just fix it. But what we want to make sure is that people are not panicked and worried about that, especially during the holiday and especially during this way more than a cold snap we're about to go through. So that's the other thing I'll be doing.
So what? Okay. So he made it sound like, now he said he didn't mention about him working on it until then. He said that summer. So what that let me know was you weren't even in office. You hadn't even got elected yet.
Yeah.
So you had
you must have knew you was gonna win.
Exactly. So he had access to everything already.
And he had access because you can't build a program like that without having access to study it.
Exactly. He said, so we had to do an audit. So your first 100 days. So how long did it take for you to do the audit when you just got in office? What, November 5th, 2022, right?
If they can do an audit that fast, then I want to see that audit. Why is that audit private information? You should make an audit public.
He already had access to this information. That's what I believe. I believe he never let go.
I believe he's the one. I believe he's the one behind the data breach.
I believe he had information already in place because he never left that position. I believe he had total control over the utilities because, again, listen to what he said in this last meeting. 60% of the income, you don't want this, you don't want this, you don't want this, because this is what the city is built on. It's these utilities. So I don't believe he just let Jeff work those utilities. I do not believe Jeff had total control over those utilities. I do not believe. I believe he was placed there to hold the place, to give people, okay, we're going to get this Negro in here because these people have been whining and crying about having a black mayor or having somebody that looked like them. I'm going to give them a break and let them get in there. I mean, I'm not knocking the integrity of the voting system, but to me, something just, and it could be just me, something ain't right. Something ain't right.
I'll tell you what happened. We got pandered to.
Yeah.
They pandered us.
Yeah. Yeah.
They pandered to us. And when you are a political, candidate and you got to pander to people and not be authentic, that's what they did. And they knew that we wanted representation, so they went and got somebody black. They pandered to us.
Yeah, they pandered to us, and we fell head on in it because we were so proud. We got an African American, and he knew Jeff Hall knew he was a placeholder. He knew it when he won. He knew it. Because nothing he asked, y'all asked for, or what the black community wanted, didn't get. And then he got in there and he fought against the majority black city council. He fought against them. He took them to court. That wasn't something Jeff did on his own. That wasn't Jeff. That was Jock who did it.
That sounds like definitely something Jock would do.
That was something Jock would do like he did before, back in the day. He took them to court when they disagreed with him. So this is not anything new. That's why I said he doesn't change his pattern. He does the same thing. And if you don't know him, you wouldn't catch it. You wouldn't catch it.
Yeah, well, I think he's upset that people know him.
Well, I mean, he's been getting away with it for so long, Devon. Come on now. He's been getting away with it for so long. You know? Let me get some more of this and then I'm
He's working on preparing the city with my team for what could be some significantly cold weather that we're not used to here.
Right. And just having a backup plan in place too, for what happens if it is kind of detrimental.
Yes.
You know, just that really, really cold weather coming through. Redex, tell me, what are some of the things you've been hearing from your constituents about their complaints with our...
Okay, isn't this when Carl passed away in this cold weather? The homeless guy?
No,
That was this year, this past year.
Yeah.
The past or recently utility issues?
Well, you know, we've had a breach, which was a situation that we went through.
Oh, pause it. There you go.
He said it.
There you go, folks.
And he said it so matter of fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't just say what he, to me, should have said we had a breach with the utility plus we had it with the police department. So two main places got breached.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, they don't even talk about neither one of them.
No. They never brought it up until now. I mean, until
they're still not bringing it up. They're still not bringing it up.
There's no, what happened? What was the end result of the breach? That was never discussed. Never discussed. Did y'all pay the ransom? What happened to the breach? Since he brought it up in this meeting at the news briefing, it needs to be brought up in the meeting for tomorrow because he seems to be talking about it freely, right?
Yeah. So it can't be under investigation anymore.
No. Did you solve it? Did you get the people who did it? Did you get the money back if you gave up money?
So, you know, people are already playing catch up, and now it's been just a longer process of being able to catch up. And so we've been working hand in hand with the administration on a way where it's not this survival mode that people are living in, but where we can get things back to normal. And, you know, one of the things you're always going to hear from me is moving forward, you know, so we can quit worrying about the past. But a lot of people have called saying, you know, they've
quit worrying about the past.
Yeah. But he's saying that, okay.
You quit worrying about the past. You sit right next to the nigga that's holding people accountable for their past due amount. Tell them to forget about the past.
The bill was read wrong, or they never got a utility bill. And so just trying to clean everything up and get it going forward is the biggest thing that I'm so excited about, and constituents are so excited about. And we just want to keep getting that word out there: restore, restore, restore.
Yeah.
And so what do y'all want people to know who are watching, who maybe have gotten that, you know, astronomical, like $3,000 utility bill?
And now keep in mind, y'all, this wasn't a big deal until that white man complained about his $3,000 bill. This was not, okay, it wasn't a big thing until a white person complained. People were already complaining about their utility bills prior to Restore. But when the white man got on TV and talked about his bill being $3,000, then it became a problem. Then we need to pay attention.
I believe if that's the case, that he was a plant.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Yeah, he was a plant.
Kids and just holidays, everything to really prepare for, and they're, you know, probably very worried right now. What would you like for them to know?
They're not being cut off. So we're going to get through this season. They need to focus on family and taking care of their children. One of the things we immediately did now was, if you will, arrest the old part so that that's not following them right now. We're going to, in the next 30 days, come to where they sort of start anew, and then we'll deal with the past due. We also know that a bunch of them are just wrong. They were either read in error or they estimated wrong, and that all has to be corrected. So the thing to tell people is follow the process that you were given in the previous administration in terms of appealing or whatever. Make that notice known. But I've already instructed our people. They're not the cutoffs that normally happen under ordinance in the city have been suspended right now while we work through this. And that's not to tell people, don't worry about it, don't ever pay bills. It's to say, we're going to work.
But didn't he say later on that people just refuse to pay their bills? Didn't he say that?
Yep.
That they refuse, they don't understand they got to pay their bill no matter what. You have to pay your bill if you want to have utilities. Didn't he go off on a rant like that at one meeting?
Yep.
About people not being responsible enough to pay their utility bills?
Yep.
When all the time you create the problem with the utility?
Yep.
You admitted that you didn't have enough meter readers. So what you were doing was you were guesstimating their bills, which you probably still are doing, because according to the law, that you guys, your policy is saying that you can guesstimate the bill.
Well,
so
the problem is, how are you guesstimating? How you're doing more math trying to guesstimate my bill than you would have did if you just would have drove by my house and got the numbers.
Well, we don't have enough people, so I can't. I'm telling you right now.
The smart meters keep track of everything.
See, this meter reader thing has been going on for a long time.
What you do is, if you want something to be, if you want to get away with something, you underman it.
Yes. Yep.
You underman it, so it's always a problem with the quality of it.
And then, you underman it, and then you guesstimate. You put in your policies when it comes to utilities, they have a right to guesstimate.
Yeah. So that's what you do. That's how you fix that problem, and you keep people out your business. You know, if you got to take them to court or go behind the council back and make up, some type of plan to make sure that them niggas stay out your business, you do that.
Do that. That's right.
Yeah, keep them niggas out your business.
To what got us in this problem right now and fix it first. And then at some point it becomes normative time again, and people need to pay bills and people need to focus on it. But I can't have people worried. Rex can't have people worried.
Okay. When were you really concerned about people worried about their bills? Like I said before.
I don't like how these niggas looking at each other.
Yeah.
That shit is awkward.
My thing is, what's so weird is this was not a big deal until that man talked about his $3,000 utility bill. This was not.
I think he was a plant. He was the catalyst for them to go ahead and kick off the restore plan.
Yep.
To make it look like, look, guys, we're helping people.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. His church helped him pay his bill. But why didn't he go to the church the first time before all of this? Why did you have to go on the news and say that the church is going to help?
Because I'm a plant.
Okay. That's when it's almost
plants got a plant, man.
Yeah. It's almost like this kicked off the restore.
Yeah. And it was under the guise of us helping a white guy. So just be cool.
Yeah. Because it's always somebody white. It's never anybody black. If you know,
even though we're the ones that's got the
yeah, it's always somebody black. I mean white. Anytime a white person hollers, that's when we got to see what's going on.
We got to go save this this white person.
Yeah, we got to go save this person, because he turned around and criticized the women who went on KLB. Y'all didn't do your research. Okay, but you didn't do anything about it. You just harped on it because it bothered you. But the white guy who needed help, that's when everything kicked off. Is when that white guy complaining about.
Apparently, Restore program was already ready. They were just needing the catalyst to do something about it.
Catalyst to push it, exactly.
Yeah.
Because like I said, worked on it He didn't work on it between his 100 days. He worked on it in the summertime. He didn't get elected until November. Right?
He got elected in the fall.
So what was you doing working on it in the summertime?
You were working on it the summer before that summer.
There you go. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
So you had this already planned out.
Yeah, you had this already. So the question is, if anybody wants to ask the question, is to ask him about the restore. What happened with the breach? Why the breach was never fully put together and explained to the people if there was a breach. They don't want it brought up because I believe they can't say you're still looking into it. This is almost 3-4 years later. So what happened? Actually, it's 3 years later because that happened in 22. So
no, that happened. What you're looking at happened in 22. The breach happened in 20.
Oh, so in 5 years we haven't had an end result of the breach?
You weren't gonna never get one. You was asking for too much when you asked for it.
I believe he already knew that the utilities was in trouble, and I'm wondering if that's around the time when their credit went low, when their rating went down.
He knows. He knows that the utilities was an easy target because he created the target.
That's right. That's right. You're right. He sure did. I believe it. Like them too damn.
You know,
they always
an easy target because he created it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's that called when you do that?
Collusion, insider trading. Fucking, I don't know. It's a felony, whatever it is.
No. What is it's called? You used to say it all the time when they create a problem and then come up with a solution.
Oh yeah, the Hegelian dialectic.
Yeah, that's what that was. That's what that was.
Oh, you be listening to my teachings?
Oh Lord Jesus.
Oh, that's so nice.
Only because I'm forced to.
Oh well, me too.
Well, I'm not going to play any more of this because y'all got the gist of this news report about what he said. They said the breach. They looking at each other like they trying to reassure each other what to say.
They look like they need a hand to hold.
No, they look like they want to make sure nobody won't say the wrong thing. That's what it looked like to me. I don't care. That's what it said. What I'm looking at. So my thing is, and like I said, this is what we saw. Y'all might have a different approach or take on what we were talking about here tonight, but that's what we saw. So I'm very interested in what's going to happen tomorrow with his conversation. He tried to play it very well, but I noticed that he harped more in that whole meeting. He harped more about that utility, that the two people that got interviewed, and the idea that Colin them didn't do a good research on it before they threw the story up. He harped on that more than he harped on anything because that was personal to him. He took that as a personal attack. Okay. And again, we know that that's Jock. That's how Jock does it. He takes it when it's something he's heavily involved in. He doesn't like the criticism, and he doesn't like for people, quote unquote, he can't control the spin. If he can't control it, he has an issue with it. And if he can't shut it up, he has an issue with it. Okay? If he can't close it down, he has an issue with it. It's going to be something, because the idea that he kept harping on that right there, now that bothered me, because what that did was that showed me a lot of guilt. Okay, and that showed me that it really bothered you that two Black ratepayers came on KLB, Black women at that, came on KLB and made that comment. Okay, or said this would happen to them. That was an issue for him, but it wasn't an issue. 3-4 years ago, when the white guy said he had a $3,000 bill, it wasn't an issue there, but it was an issue with them. So that now he was behind on his bill. Was that a big deal made about that? No, it wasn't a big deal made about that. But the two black women earlier this week or last week that came on KLB, it was an issue. And that's why he talked about it. You see what I'm saying? He didn't bring that $3,000 bill up in no kind of committee talk. I mean, that of talking about the utilities then, but he wanted to make sure that it was talked about tonight. Y'all got to pay attention to the pattern, okay? Pay attention to the pattern, you know, and you got to understand. He's not really for the people of Alexandria. When y'all realize that, I think y'all will get your head out the sand and realize that he's really not good for the city of Alexandria. I don't care how many bills he come up with. I don't care how many executive orders he come up with. It doesn't matter. His time is up. It's time for y'all to get somebody who's ready to move Alexandria forward, because this man has not. This man has not moved Alexandria forward. When he was in there the first time, when he let what's the name sit in the seat for 4 years and he came back, he's still not moving the city forward. Because, you know, if he was moving the city forward, he wouldn't have utilities as the center of the financial backing of his city. If he was moving Alexandria forward, he would bring in better opportunities for everybody, not certain ones, but everybody. And he's not doing that. And the reason why people don't want to come here is because of the crime. And the reason why the crime is bad, because we have a mayor who doesn't care about the people. Because if he cares about himself, but if he cares, he would take responsibility and put cameras all over his street, all over the place. If you have to
yeah, you could answer that. Yeah, but I don't think so.
Yeah. You would make it safe. We shouldn't have all these. This town is not big enough to have the killings and the crime that we have in it. This town is not big enough for that. So y'all want to give him another 4 years? That'll give him 20 years not doing nothing for the city and taking care of his cronies. That's what he's been doing all this time. He's no different than Trump. He's no different at all than Trump, taking care of his cronies. That's what he does. He's good at that. He's been doing it. It's just that it's come to light when we start talking about who gets the different damn contracts. We see who get them. And then we look at the donor list of who donates. They doing favors for each other.
Somebody got in my inbox and asked me to introduce myself to them. And asked me if I went to city council meetings. And I didn't respond with words. I sent them a video. And I don't know how to answer that question from no grown ass man talking about, tell me a little bit about yourself. That shit weird to me. But I did respond. I wasn't rude. I did respond. But
no, my question is, why would you respond to somebody asking you a question like that? Why? Are they interviewing you?
No, they're not, which is weird. That was their first message ever to me.
Okay, I wouldn't have answered it.
I shot him a video. It was a video of me cussing out Reddick's. That way he'll know whose side I'm on. Yeah, don't come over here with that foolishness, son. And I do play business to people. I'll pop up on you in public. And you asked me if I went to the city council meeting. I was at a city council meeting in this video. So yeah, I go.
Somebody sent them your way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. You know, as the channel gets bigger, it's gonna happen. But I don't care who told. Look, I don't care whose toes I step on. Move them out the way, champ.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys, we have been on here. It's almost midnight. I apologize. We was on here 4 hours. Ooh, Lord. I
did 6 one time.
I don't know what that means. Okay. So Miss Thomas, thank you. Miss Battles, thank you. Mr. Scott, thank you. Miss Dixon, thank you. Mr. Brown came in and flipped on. I know he probably y'all had to go. I know we was long drawn. Thank you. Who else was in here? Mr. Nat wasn't here tonight. I gotta check on that. Miss Agnes, thank you for hanging out with us too. Miss Dixon stayed to the end. Dang, Miss Dixon. She stayed to the end. Okay. So thank you guys for hanging out with us here on the Can We Be Frank show. I just wanted to kind of give y'all a little bit of update on the little meeting he had, his news briefing he had, and I hope you guys get a better understanding of what we say and how we're saying it. We can be accountable for our wrongdoing, or if we said anything incorrect, correct us. Do not feel like you cannot correct us. Okay? Our opinion of JACQUES, mine won't. I'm gonna say for me, I only can speak for me. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. He needs to really go home and sit down and be with his family.
It'll never change. It'll never change, just like this city won't ever change.
Yeah, it's too much damage being done. And I feel sorry for the ones who think that he's doing a great job. I mean, you're entitled to that. I can't say, oh, you're wrong.
God made dumb people too, so I understand.
Don't say people are dumb. But yeah,
God made dumb people as well as smart people, so I understand.
Yeah, but now you sound like him. Now you sound like that little narcissism coming out.
Well, I mean, it got two choices out here. It's one way or the other. Those are your two choices. And, everybody's not smart. And we get that. We understand that. Bobby, you're the one that told me, some people are as smart as the people that are around them. And Gene, I talked to you about this the other day. It's two ways to do something. And it's the right way and the wrong way, like Keith Sweat says, right and the wrong way to love somebody, which will have him at the next Winterfest. You guys be able, we bring these things to you, Wanda. Yeah, we bring these things to you, Wanda, that are entertaining and informational. And Keith Sweat has always got the information. He's always asking a question. He says something just ain't right. He asks you, who can love you like him? He asks a lot of important questions, and that's what we need, Frank. That's what we need. And tomorrow is another day, but it's the day before yesterday. And today is that day, the day of yesterday. And we're just going to continue to. There's people out there that are ghosts that we can't see, and we can't see ghosts because it's just like this. It's just like this. If you milk a cow in the barn, does it take time for the milk to ferment?
Oh Lord, you confused me. You confused me to death on that one.
There's no way. And see, people don't understand. It's like, I'm not making this stuff up. There's numbers that bear out what I'm saying. And Trey, you can agree with me on this. Everybody knows the Muffin Man. Everybody knows the Muffin Man.
Wrong for that. Not the Muffin Man. Not the Muffin Man.
I don't even ask anymore. I don't ask. I know it's a good form thing about having good positive interactions with people. But when I see somebody, I don't ask them if they know the fucking Muffin Man. I know they know the Muffin Man. And it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And Donna, you can tell them yourself that I said it. I know the Muffin Man as well as you do. I also know the Banana Nut Man too. But I know him for different reasons, Pause.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, that dude does drugs. I don't care what nobody says.
Wrong for that.
That dude does drugs. Ain't no way you can tell me all that made sense. No. Ain't no way you can tell me all that made sense. That made no sense whatsoever.
Didn't make no sense at all.
And people need their hair. And that's why I keep mine brushed like this, because I understand. And I get my cups done. And you know, I don't use gel because, you know, I like the rolling and the sparking.
Yep. Yeah, you're
Radix,
right.
Radix, why don't you tell them a little bit about it, Radix? But and see, when I put it on there, I took it off, but I replaced it. So I flipped it up and smacked it down and rubbed it up. Oh no. And yeah, I'm a stupid nigga.
Oh Lord Jesus. Okay. All right. All right. Good night, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us here. Lord Jesus. I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. But I'm gonna end it with
I'm a dumb porch monkey.
Okay, you're wrong. But anyway, good night.
You're gone, but I'm not over it. Midnight confessions laid bare on my tongue, saying all the things I couldn't when the night was young. I loved you louder in the silence we made, but you only heard the words I was too scared to say. So here they are, in shadows and smoke, these midnight confessions I wrote for your ghost. I traced the outline where your body lay, still feel your heat in the coldest place. You haunt my mirror, my every sigh. I swore I'd move on, but baby I lied. I breathe you in like you're still mine, like maybe heartbreak has a softer side. But this ache is velvet, slow and deep, and every night I fall too far to sleep.